Our worst fears have come to pass. The One Ring has revealed itself, and as the Fellowship prepares for its perilous journey to Mount Doom, the shadow of Sauron stretches forth to reclaim it. In ages long past, the Witch King gathered a dark army in Angmar. Once again, he calls a vast horde from the depths of Doom to march upon the lands of Middle-earth and lay them to waste. Aragorn and I hoped the Rangers alone could hold back the Witch King's advance, and that Angmar's strength had not yet grown too great. We were wrong.
Gosh! Fight!
You must unite the free peoples of Eriador and inspire them to stand against Sauron. For if you do not oppose the army of Angmar, then all the lands of Middle-earth will fall forever into darkness and shadow. War is at hand. The time is now.
All right. Hello. Hey, Nick. Hey, Brad. Hello, Mega Eevee. Mega Eevee, you came at least 55 seconds late. So, 55 seconds arrival into a stream may not be bad, but possibly room for improvement next time, huh? What do you think? No, showing up within the first minute is pretty gosh darn on time, as far as I'm concerned. Hello everyone. How am I? You know what? It's Mrs. G-Law who tested positive for COVID. That's sort of the news. And I don't remember if I told you guys, but last weekend I declared a bachelor weekend because she was gonna be out of town staying at her mom's for one of my niece's birthdays. And I was sort of like, you know what? We went the weekend before, we brought presents. That's enough. That's enough for me. I want a down weekend, so I stayed home. But apparently, like, she's been feeling like really bad allergies the last couple days, and which is kind of normal for her. Except then she found out her mom tested positive. So she took a test yesterday morning and she ended up being positive, which means there's a really good chance I got it too. It just hasn't really kicked into full gear yet. So I'm feeling pretty much normal at this point, except we both have allergies anyway. So it's sort of hard to tell if we've got something until it starts getting like, we get more coughing or more sniffling or a fever. Like, I don't have a fever. Whereas she's like the last couple days, she still worked, but like for a couple hours, then she sort of like collapses and goes to bed. And so she's been running for her kind of a high fever. So it's no joke. Hopefully this is supposed to be minor, like at this point. So hopefully she's fine, and in the somewhat likelihood that, the likely chance that I'm probably getting it. Like today I started hacking more than usual, starting like in the last couple hours, which that could still just be like my reaction. Oregon is exploding with allergens right now. So it's just one of those things where I don't know. I could be like this anyways. But like the last couple hours, I started being more congested and coughing. So we'll see. But I still felt well enough to to stream. I do feel a little low energy, but part of that's just like my job's been stressful. So for me, it's like I'm pretty much just like a normal Thursday right now. I'm feeling a little run down. I don't know it's because I'm actually sick. It's just sort of like the way that I normally get run down. Yeah, right now my wife is isolating. So, and basically the way our apartment's set up is we've got 3 bedrooms and each one has a bed in it. So and my office is on the other side of the apartment and it is a full bedroom. So we got 2 separate baths. So actually it's pretty easy for us to isolate from each other. And we spend a lot of time on the other opposite sides of the apartment anyway. So I'm like, maybe if we found out soon enough before she got really contagious, I might not have gotten the exposure, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, I just didn't feel like messing with my cam. The thing is with my cam, it's not so much that I feel terrible. It's just that I don't like doing it without my green screen here, just to let you know I'm alive and fine. I just don't like doing it without my green screen. And setting up my green screen is a pain in the ass if I'm not feeling super energetic. So it's just like, fuck. At a certain point in the last hour or so, I was having dinner and I was thinking, yeah, I'm a little worn down, but I'm still gonna do stream. I told them they could take it to the bank, and I'm not feeling bad enough. I'm still feeling sort of like hanging out, and I may not stream until midnight or anything, but I was like, I'm not setting up the green screen today. Screw that. And then I was like, well, I could change all the scenes to have my little cam frame and stuff and do that instead of that's pain in the ass, takes time too. So this is what we're getting. No cam, no cam G-Law stream. My head looks approximately the same size. Yeah. I think I might have a tighter zoom right now. I don't know. Yeah, since I didn't have the green screen up and I zoomed in so you couldn't see the I have my laundry hamper just to the left of that door, like just out of shot. So I was like, so technically my head is bigger on screen than it normally is, but it's because since I can't use my green screen to block the rest of my room out, I've focused in to cut out the stuff I don't want you to see, like my laundry, my laundry basket that's kind of full. Oh, until the heel head bloat kicks in. You know, that was one of the things I felt like I had a little heartburn coming out of work. Like my appetite was a little uncertain. And there's a reason for that. I'll get into that in a minute, which is a totally non-illness related reason for that could explain it. But I almost had Huel, I was getting closer to stream time and thinking, I don't feel like having a regular meal. And I almost made a heel shake. So I could have shown you a live action photo of, or live action on stream of me having a delicious strawberry, banana, blueberry Huel shake. But okay, back to the mild heartburn I might be experiencing. Today, Taco Bell, after 2 years, reintroduced Mexican pizza to the menu. So, and it was literally today was, unless you're in like their special Taco Bell super member club or whatever, today was the first day. I think if you're in their super member club, you could drive there as of Tuesday and get it, like show your card and get it at location. But I wasn't that interested to do it. So I had it delivered for lunch today. I had some, and they had a special deal. It was like a 2-person Mexican pizza meal or something. And I was like, oh, cool. So I was like, I'll order that and that'll be lunch and dinner. So I ordered it and had a Mexican pizza and some of those nacho supreme. And then there's still like another Mexican pizza and a couple burritos and not more like chips and stuff like that. So, anyways, I ended up having, instead of Huel, I ended up having the second Mexican pizza before this stream. I didn't eat any of the rest of it. I just wanted to have something, and it still sounded good. And truth be told, it was delicious. And I'm still, I don't have any heartburn anymore. So maybe the Mexican pizza cured it, you know. But yeah, I'm good. I've been, like I said, a little bit coughing. I'm a little bit snuffed up and congested, but all that stuff is kind of like any day in spring in Oregon, I can be like that. So the jury's still out. I think we got some more COVID tests, like the home tests. And if I actually start running any kind of a fever or anything like that, I'll take one. And I'm just going to kind of I'm going to assume like I have it in terms of not going to places where I can infect other people and that sort of thing. But in terms of like precautions or testing myself or whatever, I'll hold off until I actually feel like, if I feel like I'm really actually getting sick, then I'll test to see if I got it or not. Yeah, well, I hope I'm safe and well too. So I've been keeping a close eye on COVID for the whole pandemic, and it sort of sounds like right now is the strain that's everywhere right now is the mildest it's ever been. It's the most transmissible it's ever been, but the mildest it's ever been. So a lot of people are going to get it over the next few months. But it doesn't seem like so far it's resulting in people getting like a lot more people getting seriously sick. So hopefully, like I had a couple friends that have had it recently, and like one of them, it was no joke. Like they felt like crap. And then another one was just like, yeah, I had a sniffle for a day or two and I barely even noticed. The only reason they knew they had it is because they worked at a job that required them to get tested. Their public school teachers were required to get tested at regular intervals. I just had to mute to cough. Yeah, because you made me choke, Brad. You think it's syphilis? All right. You know what? It very well could be. I'm not sure how it would have been a real feat for me to acquire syphilis in this chapter of my life. But very well. Maybe it's one of those that hung around dormant in the body for 20 years, and then it was like, surprise. What do you make sure no one's on my channel? What? I'm talking about make sure no one's on my channel. I don't understand. Because one of your favorite YouTubers just got hacked, and it was a crypto mining stream? All right. Well, that doesn't sound good. I mean, luckily, I think I might be protected by the fact that barely anyone watches my stream, except for a handful of people that I already know, usually. So, yeah, I don't feel like there's a ton of danger that I'm attracting enough widespread online attention for that sort of thing to happen to me. But I guess you gotta be careful. That sort of thing can happen to anybody. But I don't want to tempt fate, Oh God, it was a small channel too. Oh crap. Okay, never mind then. Maybe I do need to worry. Maybe it was you, Mega Eevee. It just so happens Mega Eevee's been going to these small streams and then they've been getting like crypto hacked. Just kidding. Wow, thank you, Nick. Thank you for believing in me. I appreciate that. It's very heartwarming. So, but yeah, so I sent the word out to the D&D chat that I'm sort of tentatively considering this weekend session. I know it sucks because it's been a long time. It's already been like, what, 5 weeks since our last session or something? And then summer's going to start being even harder to schedule sessions, but with even just with Amanda feeling as sick as she is, I wouldn't want to play without her if she didn't feel well enough to play. If people hack your accounts or proselytize about crypto, people have... Yep, Brad loving that crypto. That would make a lot of sense, Brad. You seem like the kind of dude bro that get into crypto, man. Is it dude bros that do crypto? I don't know. Like cool dudes. The entrepreneurs that know how to move and hustle and make that money. You played this game on release back when it was a paid subscription? By Turbine. So did I. I got it shortly after release. Yeah, I got it early on, and it was a little bit too hard. Like they've made it a lot easier over the years. So I think by 2009, while it was still a subscription model, they actually did a major revamp and made it a lot more solo friendly and accessible. Because that 2009 is when I actually really got into it. 2008, 2009. It was like a year and a half after it released. And during that time, like around, I think right around 2009, between 2008 2010, I actually played quite a bit. I played, it was like my main MMO for about a year. And I really enjoyed it. And I think I got, at that point, they had released, I played when they had the base game, and then they had Moria, Mines of Moria. And I played all through Mines of Moria, and I think I was ready when Mirkwood launched to start doing Mirkwood content. That was the second expansion. And that's about the point where I kind of stopped. I think I just had enough. You know how I am. I mean, especially the fact that I played this for like a year or almost a year as my main game. That was an extraordinary, for me, amount of like time to be spending focused on a single game. Although back then, yeah, I was like that with World of Warcraft for 2 or 3 years. Super into like, that was I played other stuff, but that was my main game. And then for a year there or so, Lord of the Rings was kind of my main game, my main MMO. And pretty much ever since it's gone free to play, I haven't really gotten back into it again. Went free to play, I think in 2012 or 2013. I think 2012, I want to say. And I got into it a couple times, but not more than like maybe a week or two. And I certainly haven't gotten really into it. Like in the time that you guys known me, I've played it a few times on stream, but it was more like, it's sort of like if I was feeling sick or I was stressed out or whatever, it was more about just logging on, rolling a Hobbit, and being a Hobbit in the Shire, because that made me feel happy to run around and just be a Hobbit in the Shire. So most of the time that I've logged on to Lord of the Rings in the last 5-6 years has basically just been because I wanted to be in Middle-earth for a little while, but not so much because I was super enthusiastic about engaging the content or leveling or doing anything like that. But recently, they celebrated, last month was their 15th anniversary. And there's been a lot of hype around Lord of the Rings Online because the company that now owns it is pumping a lot of resources and effort into revamping it again to make it more relevant. I think they might have looked at Final Fantasy XIV, and they're looking at that Lord of the Rings Amazon series, for however that ends up being, is generating a lot of hype about Lord of the Rings. And also you have World of Warcraft. Blizzard is kind of fallen out of favor. It seems like their crown, their MMO crown, might have be sort of slipping off at this point, or if it's not already gone. So word has it that the company owns Lord of the Rings is planning over this year or so to they've already done a bunch of stuff, and they're revamping classes. They've opened up the free to play model really wide open. So like all of the content is unlocked for free to play through, I think, the 3rd or the 4th expansion. I think, was it Riders of Rohan is the first one that you actually have to pay for? I can't remember. But before, the free to play was like the first 20 levels of content was free. And then you could buy region packs, and they weren't super expensive. If you were playing, it was worth it. Or, and then you still had to buy like the expansions as you got to the later content. You'd have to buy the expansions, or you had to subscribe. And if you subscribed, I think it would unlock all that stuff for you while you were subscribed. But now they've just basically thrown the gates wide open. And there's still some free to play, or there's still some like, market stuff that you got to pay for. Like, for example, if you want to ride a horse, you have to buy the riding skill, and it's like 95 cents. And I don't know if, and that's like per character, you have to do that. And it used to be if you leveled to 20, you could still get it in game. I can't remember how that works. And they still have it too. They have a lot of things like deeds. They're basically like, I'm trying to think of those things, like achievements in World of Warcraft. And for completing them, you get Lotro points, the currency for their store. You don't get a ton of it, but it does add up. Like right now, I have like 1,100 Lotro points just from not paying attention, just earning them. And that's probably like worth $11, for example. And I've had more in the past. You're gonna hit the hay? All right, Mega Eevee. Have a good night. Thanks for being here at the very beginning and wishing me well. I appreciate that. Right, I remember when it was Middle Earth Online, there were all these crazy theories about what the game was going to be like. Majors, you remember when they were originally planning to have it be permadeath? Like, I can't even imagine an MMO that by default forces everyone to be permadeath, but they're like, yeah, it's not going to be really super easy to die, but there is permadeath. And it was going to be like open world PvP, but the people wouldn't kill each other because we'd have a justice system that we're going to, whatever. Like, that's another thing, right? Never would have worked. Unless there was a different MMO. Was it always this one? Or was there a separate MMO that was going to be Middle Earth Online, and then that got scrapped and they made this instead? I don't know. I just remember very early on, like somewhere around 2002, 2003, I remember starting to read about like a Lord of the Rings Middle Earth MMO. And then they sort of, the original plan, whether this was a separate project or not, the original plan basically got scrapped and they sort of built it up. This was a totally like a rebuilt version of what the MMO was going to be. And hello, Eevee23. How you doing, Eevee? Best Eevee in the internet. You know who was just here, though? Mega Eevee 7. Mega Eevee 7 just left. So, for a little while, he was the best Eevee in the stream. Then he left and you came in. And now you're the best Eevee in the stream and the best Eevee in the internet. A well-earned title. It was this one, and then Sierra was acquired by Vivendi, who entered a partnership with Turbine. Oh my god, there's so many developers. I don't even know who owns it now. Is it Daybreak? No, it's some other Standing Stone Studios or something. And now I think it's the same people who own this also own all the EverQuest. They own the EverQuest franchise. They basically own almost everything except for Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft. I guess, and Elder Scrolls. But they own the Elder Scrolls. They own DC Universe Online, which supposedly they are also looking to resuscitate. Because I think that had the skeleton, like the bones to be a good game, but I think it just sort of got a little like a bad rap for having an over-aggressive cash shop, and Lord of the Rings Online sort of did. I didn't think their cash shop was that bad, but yeah, still, I don't know. I coughed up that 95 cents to be able to ride a horse like it was nothing, you know. Hold on. All right, so yeah, Evie. Now, that was the other thing that I talked about before you got here is COVID has struck our family. So, my wife, I think, picked it up last weekend when she was visiting her family a couple towns away, and she started feeling bad a couple days ago. And yesterday, she tested positive for COVID, so she's out of commission right now. And I don't know if I'm sick. I didn't think I think I felt like it'd be too soon for me to have it because it takes a few days to be contagious. So I think right now I just have allergies. But if I am coughing and sneezing because of that and not allergies, then that'd be the super quickest incubation period ever. Yeah, I mean, it sucks, and I try not to worry too much because it's still no fun, but supposedly the strain that's going around right now is a lot less brutal than what was going around a year ago. It's like sort of the least severe version of it that's been around, and we're both double vaxxed and boosted. But the boosters we got in November, so the boosters at this point combined with a super virulent strain means like we were probably gonna get it. It's just a matter of time. And especially like the last several weeks, we've sort of for the first time started just not isolating, going to restaurants with masks off, stuff like that. So yeah, because at this point it's more like, well, the thing that if we catch it, it sounds like it's not that bad. It's just you still want to be a little careful because you don't want everyone to get it at the same time. But if you do get it, it sounds like it's at this point, it can still suck, but you're probably going to be most people are going to be all right. So like Amanda's still the last couple of days still been working. She's been working part days though, because I think it's because the job she does, it's kind of like if she flat out doesn't show, like it would screw them up really bad. So she's been really rallying to put in a few hours each day just to make sure that the stuff that has to get done gets done. And then once it is, she just turns off the computer and goes and crashes. So yeah, that's where that is. So we've tentatively canceled the D&D stream for Saturday, and we'll reassess for next session once it looks like Amanda and I are coming through the other side of this thing. We've got all sorts of plans. I've got another D&D session planned the next weekend, and then we've got camping and stuff the weekend after that, and there's a good chance we're going to be canceling quite a few plans in the next few weeks, depending on how it goes. Even if we're not feeling awful, like certain things like camping, we don't want to get anyone else sick, So that's where it is. But right now, I don't even know if I've got it. I might not even get it. I just get like Oregon is exploding with allergens right now because it's spring, so I'm sniffly and I'm a little bit coughing today, but I don't have a fever or anything. And the sniffling and the coughing, that can happen just because what are those? I don't know what they're called, but they fill the air with like fuzzies, like dandelion fuzz. It looks like cotton. It's floating all over the damn place here. So we've been seeing that for about a week. And before Amanda even got sick, she was like, oh, it's going to be a rough next week or so because all that cotton crap is flying all over the place. Our allergies are going to go crazy. So that's why I think when she started feeling sick a few days ago, she didn't think anything of it. Because yeah, when that crap starts flying around, yeah, it looks like it. I think it comes out of trees here. But you know how like dandelions, when they get those little, like when you can blow on them and those things before they're flowers or after they're flowers. I don't know what stage those things are there, but where you can blow on them and all those little white things go flying everywhere. There's some trees here that just release stuff that looks like that. They just like, it looks almost like it's snowing outside sometimes. They're just everywhere. So let's see, what other news? Obviously, I'm not playing Daggerfall. You guys ever hear of a YouTuber called Josh Strive Hayes? His channel is basically focused on MMOs, and I've been subscribed to him for like a year or two. And he does a series called Worst MMO Ever, and he revisits lots of different MMOs, and it's sort of just the name of the series. Like a lot of them turn out they're just fine. They're not necessarily bad, but he also looks at like some really weirdo off the radar pile of crap type MMOs too. So you never know what his verdict's going to be when he launches a video. But he did a video about Lord of the Rings Online last week, and I watched it and he just got me like super hyped to play it again. So I started looking into it. And then that's when I found out that they've done this whole free-to-play revamp, and that the company that manages it is like pouring tons of resources into revamping it. They just revamped the Lore Master class, or revamping a bunch of stuff. I think they're in the midst of doing like a major graphical system overhaul too that's coming soon. If it hasn't come already, I'm not sure. I think for a game that launched in 2007, they've done a couple graphical updates already, and I think for the age of the game, it looks pretty good. But certain design decisions that they made aesthetically look a little like goofy. Like a lot of the buildings look like they're paper cutouts instead of real buildings. But you know, I mean, look at World of Warcraft. Everything looks super cartoony. So yeah. So last weekend I started playing Lord of the Rings Online, and I rolled up an elf guardian, like a sword and board tank type character, and I've been super into him. And just playing my guardian when I have spare game time. So 2 things I've been doing in my spare time are playing Lord of the Rings Online, and I started watching Better Call Saul again. I started from season 1, episode 1, because they're launching the final season, the series finale this year. This like right around now. And I fell behind on Better Call Saul a few years ago, but I really liked it, so I've just started. That's like my show right now. Sword and board. Is that? I don't recall saying it a whole lot. But I don't know if you know this, Brad, but I didn't coin that phrase. I guess technically he doesn't have to be sword and board. You can some people do two-handers. You probably don't like that phrase either. Two-handers. Do I say it all the time? Where I'll be like, did I say it while I was playing Daggerfall? Not as much as Huel. Well, I've been doing Huel twice a day for like a year. Sword and board, not as often. So Huel is a much bigger part of my life than sword and board, you know? Oh yeah, and so the other thing is I also had this on deck. You guys heard of this? Everyone started talking about this in the last 2 days. V Rising. And actually it looks really good. It looks like my kind of game. I just wasn't sure I was up for learning a new game on stream. So ultimately, I changed course and stuck with Lord of the Rings Online. I haven't even played it yet. I actually, this morning, right before work, I watched a video while I was like sleeping like laying down to go to sleep last night, and I got hyped about it. And another one of my favorite YouTubers had a video this morning, or right before I went to work, that I watched, and he's someone that usually is like, he craps on a lot of games, but he like his name is his channel's name is Worthaby. His name's Mac, and everyone that's I watch who does videos, who's done a video about this game, makes it sound really, really good, and it looks good. It looks fun. Like everything that they've shown of it looks really fun. You saw someone you don't like play it and didn't enjoy it. Well, the other thing too is like, I don't know. I'm not great at learning games on stream. I'm sort of better at like taking a game that I'm sort of familiar with already and then streaming it. So yeah, so that I was contemplating trying this on stream for the first time, but yeah, I just don't feel like learning something and being on stream while I do it. So here we are, Lord of the Rings Online. But it was almost V Rising, but it's Lord of the Rings Online. You watch one content creator specifically because he plays a huge variety of games that are of interest, but you mildly dislike him and his personality. Who is that? Well, you don't have to say if you're afraid he might be watching. I just wonder if it's somebody that I watch. I don't watch a whole ton of YouTubers though, but I mean, I guess I got my circles of game creator channels that I watch. But yeah, Josh Stripe Hayes, he really got me excited about playing Lotro again. Oh, Splattercat. Oh yeah. Oh, Brad, I feel the same way. I've kept the word. Yeah, you know what? And he's sort of gotten better, it seems like, but because I've been subscribed to him for a long time, like before I was ever doing my gaming lawyer channel, and he just seemed like he was always looking for opportunities to like do these weird brags about himself, or to be like talking about a game to go, oh yeah, but by the way, I'm a triple black belt in 8 different forms of martial arts, and I can kill a man with my hand, with my pinky. But anyways, so yeah, this game, he'd just sort of go off on these weird tangents about himself, where and they just came off as jarring and kind of like I don't know, you know, when someone seems so desperate to be impressive that it backfires. But he doesn't do that anymore. I still watch him do stuff. I still watch him, like his channel. I haven't seen him be like that for probably 7 years. But I just remember it was one of those things that like, and also I think one reason why I don't watch a ton is because I prefer to watch people who are already kind of familiar with the game, who are just showing it. They'll have a video showing you what a game's about, but they already know a bit about it. And it seems usually like his stuff, he's going in cold, like, which is fine. I mean, that's fine too, but I prefer to, like, when I'm watching a video, that it be somebody, like, I prefer someone who knows a little bit about the game before they start playing it. And not be like, oh, I've never launched this game before. Da-da-da. Josh Stripe Hayes is incredible, almost as good as me. Dude, that guy, well, he's gotten he's pretty big at this point. I think he's pretty big for YouTube, but that guy is like, yeah, he's got the golden ticket. Like, he's like this incredibly like suave looking and sounding dude who's super charismatic and entertaining. So as far as YouTube creators go, at quality of YouTube creators, I put him very high on my list. Like, I think he's one. I think he's one of the best gaming content creators on YouTube today, like without a doubt. Yeah, I've almost bought Vampire Survivors a few times. Every time I do, I'm like, it just looks more hectic and chaotic than I feel like dealing with right now. Every time I consider it, I go, oh, it looks kind of fun, but I don't know if I want to deal with all that chaos. It looks, I can't. It seems like unless I get in the right mood, it would be the sort of game that I would buy, that I would play for 15 minutes, and then I'd go, yeah, I need to come back to this when I'm in the mood for this kind of chaos. And then I'll probably enjoy it. But you know me. I don't have a lot of tolerance for chaos. Although I did play Elden Ring for like a month straight. So you never know what I'm going to do, I guess, right? But yeah, well, I can at least get into game. It's not like this game is, if I don't get super into it, is super demanding. I've been having trouble with audio levels for this game. Let me launch it in the background because it's also it doesn't like that I play it on a 1440p monitor. It's like it forgets how to do it every time I launch it. So I have to manually make it be 1440p. Here we go. And I'd rather do that while I'm on this screen than on my game screen. I don't want OBS to freak out. But yeah, the audio for this has seemed super loud, so I've turned it way down because I also like to watch YouTube videos and stuff while I'm playing a game like this. So I probably need to screw around with. I haven't turned like the master volume turned down to like 8%. Okay, options. Switch to windowed. Keep new settings, yes. Change the full screen resolution to 1440p. Keep new settings, yes. And now change to full screen windowed. Oh, keep those settings, yes. And accept. All right, it's just something I've gotten used to.
45 seconds of gameplay.
Just a half hour of wandering with a series of not particularly difficult decisions in the middle. Okay, what the hell? Is it? All right, what the hell is it doing? Sound playback. I have to manually tell it to use my headphones right now. That's weird. It was playing on my... Well, I guess I haven't been using headphones at all. I usually don't these days anymore unless I'm streaming. But that was really weird. It just, by default, everything else is playing through my headphones. But this game was like... Alright. This game's like, nope. I think I'm gonna play, I think I'm gonna play through your through your regular speakers. Thank you very much. So now if you all recall, Gamebo is who I've been playing since 2016. That's the Guardian, another Guardian, Sword and Board, Brad. The Hobbit Guardian. That I've just basically only ever just hung out in the Shire and run around trees, as Nick astutely pointed out when I mentioned that I was going to play Lotro again. But then I decided I wanted to play a warrior that I could kind of take seriously, like get into as a character. And the Hobbit Warrior was more comical than anything, but when I thought about him rushing into like all the epic adventures and looking like this, I just was like, no. So this is Kaldros, the High Elf Guardian. I seem to recall, Brad, that you were not a huge fan. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I can show. Let me show you the classes. That would actually be a good idea. I'll go back to the login screen um, in a second because I just realized, like, Nick, we were talking the other day, and a lot of people, like Nick, this is the sort of game you could possibly like. I don't know if it's a thing for you that you'd be into playing right now, but let's go to log out. All right. So that's another thing right now is they did have certain newer races that were added later and classes locked out that you had to buy them. And it would be like you pay $5 and you could buy the class. Like before, I think it was free to play. You got Burglar, Captain, Champion, Guardian, Hunter, Lore Master, and Minstrel. And then Runekeeper and Warden were behind a paywall. Brawler is brand new. That's still you have to buy. And then there's a special case. There's a race of Bjornings, which is the dude from The Hobbit that could turn into a bear. And Bjornings are both a race and a class. They're basically like shapeshifting barbarian-esque warriors. And different races have different abilities. Now this says unlocked, but it's because I have Brawler selected. So Burglar, and all these classes are familiar, but they're not copy cutter of what you might expect from other MMOs. So Burglar is essentially like a rogue, but they have a lot of debuffing and crowd control, and a little bit more focus on that than DPS than in something like WoW, or where like a rogue is really all about. They do have like stealth and some in WoW. They do have, I think they have some crowd control and debuffing and stuff, but this class is a lot more focused on utility than DPS, but they still are like a DPS class. But there, you see here, it gives you a little breakdown. It says class difficulty advanced, role support. Now Captain is kind of a unique class, and it also is considered support. You could say its closest equivalent is a Paladin, but it's basically a buffing class. I think it can do a bit of healing. And they also have a companion. It's like a squire or a herald that chases them around and contributes to battle. But they're supposed to be very, like, I think they're the lowest DPS in the game. No, the captain does not have a boat. I'm fairly certain there is no point at which anyone gets to have a boat. But I would think if they ever did add that, the captain should be the first to get the boat. But, it's like the captains of men. That's one of those things from... I think only humans can be captains. Oh no, elves can be captains too. Okay. So, a champion is a heavy armored, dual-wielding DPS class. So this is sort of, if you like playing like DPS melee rogues in other games, the champion is actually more that class. It doesn't have stealth, but it's more that melee DPS class. They can also do two-handed as well, but their most damage, I think their highest DPS ability comes when they're doing dual wield. And then there's, look, Brad, sword and board. This is the Guardian. Guardian is pretty much like one of the most sort of one-to-one translations of warrior from another class. They have some self-buffing and some self-healing, but they actually do a reasonable amount of DPS and a decent amount of AoE DPS. So I'm enjoying I enjoy this class more than the champion, because the champion, for all the heavy armor, ends up being a little bit squishy. The high DPS, high AoE DPS in particular, end up being a little bit squishy. The Guardian still does pretty decent AoE DPS, but is a lot more survivable. So I think that's why I keep coming back. And then, okay, so this is where things can get a little bit weird. The Hunter, not weird, but, you know, you'd think like, oh, World of Warcraft, it's like the pet class or whatever. The Hunter is more like just a mage, almost. I mean, they can do a little bit of melee, but they're meant to stay at range and use snares to keep stuff away from them, keep distance, kite stuff, and just kill it with its high DPS. So the role that they play, and you know, different classes have different sort of cool perks. So like hunters get what, like in World of Warcraft, would be the wizard teleports, group teleports to different locations around the map. And for them, it's sort of considered almost like the way that rangers can find secret paths through the wilds and stuff like that. That's sort of like the lore reason. And in fact, all these characters have sort of like, there's not even really, for most of them, supposed to be magic. It's supposed to just be like, for example, the minstrel is like the cleric. But the whole point of the minstrel does rezzing. Minstrel is the dedicated healer for the game. They also actually do a reasonable amount of DPS. You can sort of go into DPS mode. But the whole, instead of hit points or health, what your health bar is called morale. And so so when you die, it's not like you died. It's more like your character fell to despair. Like they just were overwhelmed with despair. So the minstrel uses music to heal morale. So you'd say, oh, is it like a bard? Well, no, literally, because in Lord of the Rings, their version of health or hit points is literally like your emotional morale. And you don't die, you fall to despair. So this is essentially like the cleric class of Lord of the Rings. And the lore master is somewhat based on Elrond or even Gandalf. I mean, at a certain point, literally, they can have a staff and a sword, and they have animations and abilities that look almost like Gandalf telling the Balrog, "Thou shalt not pass." But they're more of a crowd control. They're the only pet class. So the lore masters get animal companions. Well, I guess the captain has a pet, but I think it's somewhat combat useless. I don't know. It's not very effective. The lore masters' pets can be actually devastatingly powerful. And the lore master also has special abilities like building up people's power, which is like their magic points. They can help people regenerate that. They're considered kind of a hard class to play because their skills are a little bit like you have to do a bunch of prep, and it's all about controlling the battlefield. Like you can end up having a bunch of stuff mezzed while your pet's taking them down. And I think the first class that I really leveled up high was a lore master, and I was having a lot of fun. But then I played another class that was more straightforward, and I was like, oh god, the lore master is like, I've got to go through so many steps in each battle to make it work. And if you know what you're doing, they're highly effective, and it can be a lot of fun, and they have like flashy abilities, and they're just really cool. But then like I rolled a hunter, and it was just like, hey, just push this button and everything dies. Like the hunter's probably the easiest class. Guardian is probably after that, but like the hunter is considered super high DPS. They do have some survivability. They're kind of like easy mode. And let's see, the warden is sort of like another warrior tank class, except it's sort of a weird advanced defense class. But they have really good DPS. They have a little bit of ranged. And they have a whole thing called the Gambit system, which is sort of like combo attacks, where you build up all these different combos of different sort of ingredients that you do in a certain, not ingredients, but certain, you just do this, like pushing the different buttons in a different order. to get all these different powerful combos. And for that reason, a lot of people, it's a very unique class. A lot of people really like it. People that are good at it can just melt face with this class. Like, they can be one of the most powerful classes in the game. The things I don't like about them is a lot of what they do are shouts. So the whole time you're playing them, they're like, ho! They sound like Michael Jackson, like, ha, ho, hey! They're doing all this stuff, and I'm just like, fuck it, I just can't. Like, the minstrel is another thing I don't like, is the minstrel does like, he has this little banjo or whatever, and then at the end he has a little shout. So his whole, people even joke about it, like his whole rotation sounds like, dun 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 dun. He's playing his little thing, dun 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 dun, ha! So, and you just hear that over and over again for all the hours you're playing the minstrel, and it's kind of like, no, that's enough of that. So I'm switching to the dwarf because the dwarf can be the rune keeper. Only dwarves and elves can be rune keepers. So rune keepers came later? No, there's, like, you can see dwarves and elves can be rune keepers, but dwarves can't be burglars, captains, lore masters, or wardens. There is a new dwarf class, a race, and the stout axe, I believe, are a race that, there's a race that Sauron enslaved in Mordor, and they actually can be burglars. These are people that maybe escaped from Sauron's grasp, but they were a race that he like dominated and like controlled. But you can see here, like, a dwarf can't be a warden or a lore master or a captain or a burglar. But a human can't be a rune keeper. Humans can be just about everything else. Only a Bjorning can be a Bjorning. Elves can't be burglars or captains. I guess the high elf, I didn't realize there was a significant difference. The high elf can be a captain. I think the high elf is like Elrond as opposed to, I think the Mirkwood elves are considered wood elves. The high elves are considered the ones who are more attuned with these super ancient, almost Roman Empire-esque type of old elves of history, like in touch with Valinor and all that stuff. Whereas the wood elves are more like, they're the ones that were more attached to Middle Earth and being part of Middle Earth and being at one with nature and all that crap. But yeah, so the Rune Keeper came later. Rune Keeper is an interesting class. It's sort of like a combination. It's like a wizard priest combination. And what they have a special mechanic where you flip, like, you build up either into damage mode or healing mode. And the more you're casting damage, a meter builds and your damage spells become more and more powerful, but you can't heal at all. And there are ways you can reset it, set it to 0, like center, to go the other way. And at, like, the more healing that you cast in a particular battle, the meter starts going towards the healing size. And your healing gets more and more powerful the more you cast it. So this is a sort of class where if you want to play like a mage, you basically can just specialize in damage and be very powerful with your damage. But still be able to heal, but you can't do both at the same time. So you can't be melting face and then doing massive heals. It's like, you gotta, if you decide you need to start healing in the middle of a battle, you gotta basically shut your power off, your damage power off, and then start like building up your heal power. So I mean, that's one thing that's cool about this is the races. I mean, there's a lot of the mechanics are still not totally unfamiliar, but like the Rune Keeper, the Warden, the Lore Master, those are all, the Captain is another example. Those are all classes that don't really look like anything else in any other MMOs, and they're kind of interesting. Of course, then I go and I play Guardian. I think the most classes that I've leveled, I got a Hunter up to around 50. I have a lore master I got up to like about 60. I think my lore master might actually be my highest level character that I ever made. He made it in his early 60s. I do have a human guardian that I played up until the mid, like level 53, 54. He's in Moria. And those were when I was like 2009, 2010. And really, I've been wanting to start over because whenever I've kept those characters because they let you keep a stupid amount of characters. They're good. Lotro's good that way. But anytime I try to log into one of those high level characters that I haven't played in 10 years, like they're completely unrecognizable. It's not just that I've forgotten how to play them. It's that their mechanics have been so completely overhauled since I leveled them that I literally don't know how to play them. And I don't remember anything about the story. You know, at the end of the day, one of the really big selling points for Lord of the Rings Online is that it does present a pretty authentic vision of Middle Earth, and the lore is very rooted in Tolkien. And as like a Tolkien fan who's read the Silmarillion and read a lot of different, read all the books, and I've read the appendices and all that stuff. There's a ton of stuff I haven't read. Like the stuff that his sons published, like they re-released all the notes they found in the attic. I haven't read that stuff. I'm aware of what's in it, more or less. But if you're a full-on Tolkien geek and you play it, Madros can probably speak to this. Elrond Hubbard. Because Madros, you're like a Lord of the Rings aficionado, right? Your name is from Lord of the Rings, right? Isn't Madros a Lord of the Rings, like someone from the Silmarillion, I want to say? You poke around this game and all the little nooks and crannies, and it feels like everything is firmly rooted in some, like, the people who made the lore really knew Tolkien. So that's something to appreciate. But oh yeah, one thing that's kind of cool is if when you're looking through this stuff, they let you play movies. So you want to say, oh, what's a Guardian about? Play movie.
The Guardian is a protector of the weak and defender of those in need. He is capable of withstanding mighty blows and retaliating in kind. The true Guardian stands to the forefront of battle, shielding his allies from the blows of their enemies.
So, and then they also have a thing for each race, too. So this is kind of a nice touch. I like it.
Mighty foes of evil in ages past, the High Elves, whose kind once beheld the light of Valinor, have mostly departed from the world, bound for distant shores. Some remain, however, resisting the call of the sea, and using their fading power to make Middle-earth safe for days yet to come.
Yeah, the High Elf is one of the new races, and that's what I'm playing right now. And it was pretty cool because I played it. I'd never seen their intro before. And for those who know Lord of the Rings, when you play as a High Elf, you start at the battle against Sauron 3,000 years ago, like when the ring was cut from his hand. And I don't think it's like right when that happens, but it's that conflict, and you're in that, and you're working for King Gil-galad, and there's Elrond is there, and some of the kings of men, Isildur and I'm forgetting Elsildur's dad's name. They're there, and you're just running missions for them on the battlefield, collecting intelligence and things like that. And at the end of it, you face off against the Lich King. Hey, what's up, Stone? How you doing, man? You face up against the Witch King, and he does something to you. He wounds you, and I think it's like the Morgul Blade. It's supposed to be similar to what they did to Frodo. I have a feeling it's because the plan was you were gonna end up rising as an enemy to the people you cared the most about. But Elrond ended up putting him into like a stasis for some time, and they dragged him back to Rivendell. And basically, you wake up in the very beginning of the events of Lord of the Ring. You've been in this like coma for 3,000 years, being tended to in Rivendell. And Elrond, when you wake up, Elrond is basically like, yeah, you were through some shit, and we've all decided you can go to the west. You can go to the Grey Havens and sail across the sea. Like you've paid your dues, and you can leave Middle Earth, which is something that all the elves are gradually doing at this point in the history of Middle Earth. They're leaving Middle Earth, but some of them are staying to try to keep it from going to complete shit before they go. And so the first few quests, the first few things you do as this guy are quests centered around trying to decide if he wants to go. He's on his way to the Grey Havens and trying to decide whether he wants to go sail west or if he wants to stay and try to help Middle Earth. And it's just, I mean, he decides to stay, obviously, and help Middle Earth, and you don't get to choose yourself. But lore-wise, I just found it was like effective storytelling, where I got kind of engaged in the position that my character was in. And that was, my character. But that sort of introduction was kind of, I don't know, I kind of connected with it. Let me see. Let me get back. 5 months in physical therapy. Okay, I want to exit without creating a character because I'm playing Kaldros, the Guardian. This is my dude. So wait, Stone, you have to forgive me because probably you told me about this before, but I don't know. I don't remember why you're in physical therapy for 5 months. That's insane, man. I hope you're coming through the other end of whatever it is. So, right now, actually, over the past 15 years, over the course of, originally when things launched, the entire game took place in Eriador, which is the area, which is like, if you're going to start, that's where you start. It's where Hobbiton is, Bree, Weathertop, Rivendell, all that stuff. And the whole sort of story that happens here is, as the Fellowship gets formed and Sauron is hunting down the rings, the Rangers, like Aragorn, who'd normally be keeping an eye out for this area, has been sucked into or decided that his focus needs to be protecting Frodo and helping on this mission to get the ring to Mordor and to go east. And there are other Rangers that are still dealing with, like the Witch King is building armies up north. There's all this crap going on that Aragorn would and Gandalf would otherwise have been tending to. And so as they're leaving, you get in this plot where you're basically working with the other Rangers to figure out the corruption that's spreading from the Witch King and other. Saruman is also starting to get his tendrils over this region. And for those who haven't read the books, the books end. The Eagles rescue Frodo. He goes to Rivendell. He heals up. They go home, and everyone's super happy. Then they go on the ships and sail to whatever. In the books, when they got back to the Shire, actually Sauron did not die at the end of Two Towers, and Saruman had enslaved the Shire. So there's a whole extra little saga at the end of the books about the hobbits coming back to the Shire and having to sort of get the hobbits to overthrow Saruman's reign and free themselves. And it's a big thing about like the hobbits being able to learning to stand up for themselves and learning to be self-reliant. And there's a lot of things Tolkien put value in that, but I think by the time they made the movies, they were just like, dude, there's already 7 endings of this movie. If Frodo leaves Rivendell, and then there's another hour of them fighting Saruman and the Shire, people are just going to take a dump on the theater floor and leave. So he just wanted to help. There we go. Oh, okay. Decompression surgery, C2, C5. You got home for the first time since January? Dude. You may have mentioned this, that you were getting the surgery, but I had no idea it was that in like major. Oh shit, Stone. Well, I mean, I'm sorry you're going through all that. I'm really happy that you're able to get home finally. I can't even imagine. Oh man. I know that I know how spine injuries can be because that's what I did for the better part of, I don't know, 8 years or whatever. When I was doing those workers' comp, I reviewed medical legal records, files for, that was my job for like 8 years, or not 8 years, 6, 7 years, whatever. It was like 6 or 7 years. And the most common serious stuff that ended up landing in our lap were from orthopedic surgeons, and the low back injury was the most common. There was some shoulder and knee and stuff, but mostly low back injuries were the most common. And so I, for all those years, saw how low back injuries unfold over, and they for a lot of people, low back injuries, they do unfold over a period of years. It's not like, oh, you get your surgery and boom, like 6 weeks later, it's like you never had a problem. The back injuries are no joke. The surgeries are no joke. And the surgeries themselves are very hard on the body. The hope is that that when you come out the other end of it, you're better off than where you were. And that you're able to restore like a more normal way of living. But it's no joke, dude. You fell and lost the use of your arms and oh my god. Oh yeah, C2, the cervix. Okay, yeah, C2, those are the top spine. So oh god. I'm thinking I didn't know about this at all, because it sounds like this happened to you and you just fell off the face of the earth as far as everyone knew. Oh my god, Stone. I'm really happy to see you here. I'm really sorry. That is a hell of a lot to deal with. But I am glad that it sounds like you're on the road to recovery, and you've gotten far enough along that road to go home. That's got to be huge. To make that step, and just the fact that you were not home for so long. Oh my god. Yeah, Stone. My thoughts are with you, and I'm rooting for you, and really I know this is something, yeah, I mean, you're probably going to be dealing with this for the rest of your life. It's just, hopefully you get to a point where your life is going to be, it's functional again. You fell and lost your arms and legs. That's a complicated question. Can you sue for it? Because it would depend on, let's see, it depend on when and where and why it happened, what you were doing at the time. For the most part, if it was a job related, which is what I am most familiar with as workers' comp, if it's job related, almost all that stuff gets worked through the workers' comp system. They consider suing on top of that as sort of like legal double dipping. It's like suing someone twice for the same thing. And there's still plenty of fights that occur within the workers' comp system about the level of compensation people should be getting to live, and the level of care that they need, and all those sorts of things. There's still lots of fights that happen within workers' comp. If it didn't happen while you were working, then it becomes a lot more complicated about whether you can sue. It really is about where it happened, what you were doing, who owned the property. Were you on someone else's property? Was it? There's a ton of factors. Where did the people that own the property have some condition or some carelessness on that property of how they maintained it that caused or contributed to you having the fall? You were just standing there and gravity ambushed you? You gotta sue you. You sue your house. Yeah. Well, I mean, things can happen in your house that you can still sue people for, but you'd have to have been using some sort of a product. Like, oh yeah, I just bought this new stool from from Walmart, and I sat in the stool and it collapsed horribly and I was paralyzed from the neck down. And it's like, well, let's look into who made that stool and you just sue their ass. But if you're literally just like, God, life is so can be so nuts. If it was just like you were getting up to pour a second cup of coffee and you just tripped over your own foot and just completely annihilated your spine, then yeah, probably not. Maybe you look into if you're wearing slippers or something. Who made the slippers? Is it the slippers' fault? The slippers have a history. The people that brand of slippers have a history of causing people to fall down. Yeah, you could go after Newton. He invented that shit, but he's been dead for a long time. Maybe you can find the Newton estate and be like, your goddamn theory of gravity fucked up my back, and I'm gonna sue. And you find the Newton estate. They got some deep ass pockets. And you just go hog wild. Go for that big Newtonian physics money. But honestly, though, Stone, it's almost better that if you don't have someone to sue, because that becomes its own nightmare. Even being a workers' comp, that becomes its own. Well, probably no matter who you are, you're still going to have a version of that nightmare, just getting whatever system is paying with its insurance or whatever it is that's paying for all the shit that you have to do. Whether it's government funded or, the kind of insurance that you have. There's still plenty of fighting. Anytime there's an injury, there's plenty of fighting that can end up needing to be done. the fig Newtons. Oh my god, yeah. You go after that big fig Newton money. I forgot. I guess you can only run so far with Newtonian physics. And then Einstein came along and was like, hey, relativity, bitch. Crapped all over Newtonian physics. Some of the basic premises, and then probably that's when the Newtons moved on to making, fig snacks. Because they're like, oh, okay, relativity, this is too rich for our blood. Let's make some fig Newtons. Anyways, I'm gonna go back talking about game, but holy crap, Stone. What a thing to go through. So yeah, when the game first launched, it was Eriador, and then the first expansion was Mines of Moria, and the Mines of Moria is like huge. There's so much under there that it's almost like it's literally almost as big as the entire. There's so much down there. There's like a ton of content. It's huge, and it's really well done. So the next expansion was Siege of Mirkwood. And so there's Mirkwood. And I think the next expansion was Riders of Rohan. So what you can see over time, we all start here, and the expansions are slowly getting us towards Mordor until finally, within the last couple of years, the game has reached Mordor. And they're still releasing more content and fleshing out. There's even more recent, after Mordor was released, I think there's Gundabad. I forget where that even is, but that's the most recent expansion. But essentially at this point, it's a really good time if the game is interesting, and especially if you're a Tolkien fan. It's a good time to look into it, because when you played this in 2007, you didn't have all of Middle Earth. I mean, this is not all of Middle Earth, but this essentially you're now in all of Middle Earth that was relevant to Lord of the Rings. It's all part of this game now, piece by piece over 15 years. They have rebuilt from one end to the other Middle Earth as known through Tolkien's works, basically. I've never, like I said, when I was playing before, I got through Moria. I got one character out into Mirkwood, and I was just starting to poke around Mirkwood when I ran out of. I can't remember if I bought Siege. I think I did buy Siege of Mirkwood. And then I just was like, all right, I played the shit out of this game for a year, and I feel like playing something else. I really haven't been seriously back to it since. So I cannot give you any real information about most of the stuff that happens past Moria. One thing I know is Rohan's supposed to be beautiful and wide open and vast, but Rohan introduced mounted combat with variable success. I don't know what the state of that is today. If they ironed it out or kind of backed off from it or what, but I remember that was like a big thing, was introducing mounted combat. Mordor needs more doors. Oh, okay. More Mordor doors. There, Nick. I know you didn't trick me into saying it naturally, but I just did say it. I'll say it again. More Mordor doors. Pretty good. So, let me see. I don't even know if all these areas. Can I look at Mordor? I guess I do have the maps. Can I go all the way in? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been over here. So here's the Morgul Vale. This is the way that Frodo, it's like the Shelob Stairs would be around here somewhere. It's the way Frodo got in. Where are I want to say the gates are... I thought the gates are up. I think the gates are up here. Yeah, there's the Black Gate. All right, so even Mordor's got like a ton of zones. Let's see, is there Mount Doom? I haven't even looked at these maps, so there's Mount Doom. There you go, all the way to Mordor. I think a lot of this, like Lonely Mountain and stuff, I think you only visit that in like particular. There are certain places you only go in specific story instances. Like you don't adventure around the region. It looks like there's, yeah. Here's Mirkwood, Dol Guldur, South Mirkwood. I think this area right here is right by Lothlorien, is the furthest I got. I got from Lothlorien to right this corner down here. Poked around a little bit, then that's when I stopped. I stopped playing that character. Rohan, Fangorn. Yeah. So, yep, it's all here, folks. Oh, got it. Yeah, all right, Stone. Well, hey, it was really good to see you. Thanks for the update. Again, oh my God, Stone. I can't even imagine what it's like to go through all that, but I'm happy you're going in the right direction. Glad you're home, and it was really good to see you again. So right now, when I started, I woke up in Rivendell, but they instant transported me to Celandem, which is like one of their last stops before the Grey Havens to go sail. So my newbie zone was Ered Luin. You can see actually, where was it? The Grey Havens is down this way. You can't actually visit the Grey Havens, although I don't know if there may be some paid content to get there. I'm not sure. But it's not part of the main story. There's never a part of the main quest lines or anything else takes you to the Grey Havens. And then up here is where the dwarves start. That's Thorin's Gate. This was Thorin established a kingdom that ended up building up here after, or I guess during. I can't remember if it was during their exile or if this was after the events of The Hobbit. I think it was Balin or what. Somebody from the original Hobbit is the king of Thorin's, or the ruler of Thorin's Gate. But yeah, so I started your like levels 1 through 15 or so here, and everyone starts in different areas, but right around 15, that's when you get the call to Bree. Basically, all characters end up around level 15 or so, coming to Bree, getting on the same track, with meeting with Aragorn, and around that level, there's all sorts of stuff. There's the Old Forest, there's the Barrowdans. I came here, and I spent the quest took me to go meet Tom Bombadil, and as I was going to meet Tom Bombadil, I picked up a bunch of Barrowdown quests on the way there that were of an appropriate level, so I spent a bunch of time doing Barrow. You know, that's what's cool too. This stuff wasn't in the movies, but these were, you know, big parts from the books that got skipped. Haven't, as this character, gone to the Old Forest, but except, I guess, Tom Bombadil's house. I've been to Tom Bombadil's house, but he's right on the edge. Since your dad fell and hit his leg in the car about 2-3 weeks ago. It got infected. Oh my God. I hope he's okay. That could be really serious, Evie. I'm glad he got it checked out. I really hope the surgery took care of it, because that's no joke. What do you mean still trash? You saying that, Brad, makes me almost want to just go and visit Tom Bombadil just because you said that. Tom Bombadil is an amazing character. He's a weird character, but he's really significant. But yeah, so I did Bree stuff, and I met Aragorn basically like before he found the hobbits, and then during the course of the stuff I was doing, he actually did find the hobbits and took off with them. And I came back to Bree, and Gandalf was at the end of the Prancing Pony. So there was a lot of, if you piece together everything that happened in Lord of the Rings, there was a lot of Gandalf just missing Aragorn and the hobbits and trying to hunt them down. And so currently I'd met Gandalf. He had me agree to take over, like, watching this region, watching for the encroachment of Angmar, to become involved in sort of the protection duties that Aragorn otherwise would have led. And currently, story-wise, my mission is to see if I can find Radagast, which is he's in the Hobbit. He's another one of the wizards. Gandalf is an order of 5 wizards with Saruman, Radagast, and there were 2 other wizards. They're called the Blue Wizards. They're actually, they were really never around that much. They were never around in Lord of the Rings. They've been gone at that point for like hundreds of years. But anyway, so I'm making my way to the Lone Lands to try to hunt down and find what's his name? The wizard, Radagast. And he supposedly sort of has a secret presence. And of course, you're doing missions. Some of them are like super story missions. I did an instance the other night on Weathertop for one of the rangers in this region. And now I'm just realizing I'm sort of need to let me see. The main story quest is orange. It's getting a little high for me. And the game's a lot easier, so technically, like, fighting orange stuff is not that hard. But it's sort of intended that you're going to be doing just the general non-main story quests in the region as well. So that's what I've been doing. So there's Weathertop, which in this version, in this world, I find it incredible. It's just it's huge, and you can see it from miles away in every direction. And when you go up there, you really do get this sense of this was just huge, amazing place. You don't get that sense from the books, or you don't get that sense from the movies, rather, of how incredibly significant and big this place is. He had the surgery earlier today. He just needs to recover now. Oh, okay. Well, my thoughts were with him too. I mean, there's always, hopefully the surgery took care of it. And, you know, I think a surgery, that's the sort of surgery that's usually pretty successful. So hopefully there's not too much to worry about. But, you know, anytime someone gets surgery, you always gotta keep an eye on it till they recover. So I hope he recovers well and that they took care of the problem and he lives happily ever after. Yeah, it's Lord of the Rings Online, Joss. So, but I think Lord of the Rings, I'm forgetting, Joss. Did you have like no Lord of the Rings experience, and then you watched the movies? Like Nick got you to watch the movies, but you haven't read the books. That's what I'm trying. I think I remember. But yeah, so this is me. And let's see. The way that Rangers or characters level, not deed log, what am I looking for? So this is something that's kind of familiar. You basically, like, each character has 3 different builds that you can go for, and they have different kind of purposes. So this is basically the DPS build for like the AoE DPS build for the Guardian. But for someone that wants to like super dedicate, do like raids and stuff, and be the tank, this is like, there's a strict like super defensive mode. And I don't really even get what Fighter the Shadow is. Uses light damage and two-handed tanking. It's sort of like the middle road. It's like almost like more like utility. I don't know. Apparently, this is not a very popular specialty, because whenever I hear people giving assessments of the Rangers class, or not Ranger, the Guardian class, they always say it's usually people choose between these two, and that the consensus is, for whatever reason, this yellow build doesn't get utilized very often. He still hasn't watched the movies. Okay, you read The Hobbit. Okay. So, yeah, they pretty much, in The Hobbit, I don't know if you can see the road down here. In The Hobbit, they passed through this area, but it didn't really even get described. So The Hobbit starts in Hobbiton, and basically it's like, then they leave Hobbiton, and then they meet the 3 trolls, where the trolls they meet are in this forest over here, named, appropriately enough, Trollshaws. So basically in The Hobbit, they just they don't even mention, this is sort of like them just whistling and riding ponies and nothing happened until they got to the Trollshaws, which is basically right by Rivendell. So I'm technically in a region that they pass through in The Hobbit, but they pass through this area uneventfully in The Hobbit. And the Lord of the Rings takes us slowly, like you do end up in Rivendell and stuff. But yeah, you can actually find in the Trollshaws, you can find the 3 trolls that Bilbo turned or not Bilbo, I guess it was Gandalf, tricked into arguing until the sun came up and they turned to stone. You can find the 3 trolls. So it's just kind of cool. So let's see. I'll just do some questing now. Oh god, there's so many quests right here.
This is intolerable.
Gatorix sent you to me. This is good news. My brother sought vengeance. It is true, and I swear to you. See, we lost many when the goblins came here. Many are gone and still lost to us. It is good that you're here and willing to aid us. So I think he's part of... Is it? No, they've already... What it was supposed to be is all these quests in this region were for me to get the trust of this sort of... they're not outlaws, but they're people that have left the main civilization to live at this inn out here in the lone lands. To sort of be almost like a hermity types that don't trust outsiders. So a lot of sort of the pretext for doing all these quests for all these people was to build their trust so that they would tell me like the secret location where Radagast is. But the way that through the revamps, now this game is not exactly where it's trying to rush you to end game, but it's definitely sped things up a lot from where things were 15 years ago. So you end up being able to skip a good deal of content if you want to. So basically, like I did a few quests and they were already like, okay, we trust you. Here, this is where you can find Radagast. But turns out I'm a little low level, so I'm like, you know what? I'm still gonna do the quests around here just so I don't end up the main storyline being 10 levels above me. But essentially, all these quests that I'm going to be doing for these people are sort of like just... Let's just say I'm not going to be reading every word. Even though you could, and they're all, you know, they all have like Tolkien flavor to them and stuff. But yeah, if it's a lot of these quests, unless it's a character I really like or a storyline I'm really invested in, at this point, it's just like, hey, these people just want me to do stuff to help them. That's the basic story. It's just stuff to run around the region and do things. So I need to burn corpses around beneath Midas Ariel. All right. I feel okay. So it's Mrs. G-Law who's tested positive. This last weekend, I can't remember if I told you all this, but last weekend it was like a bachelor weekend for me because she went to visit her family. And she was already feeling kind of bad because allergens are all over the place here. They kicked my ass too a little bit. So earlier in this week, she started feeling worse, and we just thought it was allergies. But then yesterday morning, she found out that her mom tested positive for COVID, and that her mom had a coworker that tested positive a few days before that. So yeah, we're pretty sure she got it when she was there. And when she tested, she said it was like a faint positive. So I don't know if that's indicative of anything, but we've pretty much stayed isolated from each other since then. And so really, I'm assuming, I'm sort of bracing for the probability that I've got it and just haven't gotten symptomatic yet. But there's also a possibility that by the time she tested positive, she may not have been that contagious before then. So I may or may not get it. I may have it. I know today I've been coughing more. I've been congested. I've been feeling a little cold symptoms, but I already was feeling that way because of allergies. So at this point, because it's not severe, I don't know if what I've got is related to COVID or not. I'm at this point assuming even if I get it, probably is a little too soon for it to be COVID. But I'm sort of expecting to get it, and I know, you know, my wife, she's doing okay. I mean, she still actually worked today and yesterday, but only like a handful of hours each day, and it's basically because the job she does. There's certain things where she's in payroll, and they work on certain pay cycles, and it's sort of thing where there's certain things that if she doesn't do them, things there are people who can cover, but I think another person's on vacation and another person is what? There's all sorts of, like, it was just a really shitty time. So she's basically forced herself to do a few hours of work just to get the essential stuff that no one else can do done. And then she'd crash. And then she has Fridays off anyways. So I think she's probably just going to stay in her room for the next few days. And hopefully she's not doing too bad. She's had a fever. It's been kind of, for her, kind of high. She's kind of weird. Her temperature runs a little bit low normally. Like, it's strange, but I think her regular temperature runs like in the mid 90s, like 94, something like that, which would be very bad for most people, for most people's physiologies, but for some reason that's where her body temperature is just weird, and that's where it's normal for her. And it can range, her normal temperature can range, but if she gets up to 98.6, usually that actually means she has a fever. And I think last night she hit over 100, which for her is very high, which is, it's concerning. It's a little concerning, but it's not super dangerous. It's just when she has a fever that high, that means that, like, something's definitely, we need to keep an eye on it. All the coughing and the nasal congestion, Brad, it's all terminal chlamydia. Gee, that's really alarming. That echoes common allergies and any common cold. But anytime from now on, I see anybody with the sniffles, I will warn them, Brad, that they may be near the end of their journey due to terminal chlamydia. All right, so this dude's got collects treasures. Yeah, so at this point you can just see, god damn, there's so many quests. Like the statue. Yeah, I'm just gonna take that one. Weavers, take that one. And there's this person. They probably got, there's two more. Link's meat, okay.
Might I speak with you a moment?
And Link's hides, okay. Let me see, can I just track nearby quests? Okay, yeah, so you can see there's a ton of stuff. Basically, the objective now is just to walk into these ruins, kill everything that walks, and pick up every box that sparkles. Allergies, you finally feel back to normal. You went through several rounds of antibiotics. Oh, yeah, that's right. You finally knocked it out with the last round. Well, I'm really glad. Finally, that you were dealing with that for like what, like a month and a half? That went on forever. All right, there's someone hiding in these bushes over here. Now I'm curious. Oops. Oh no, I'm getting good frame rate. I was like, things look a little bit choppy. It looks a little choppier than I'm used to, but I'm running 144 frames a second right now. All right, drop your bomb, bitch. I know what you're about. All right. What's all going on? What's all going on up in this place? Stairs going to nowhere? Poor design decision. Looks like all the cool shit's in this direction. Hey, buddies. Oh, these guys are a little tougher than I'm used to. Are these elites? Oh yeah, they're elites. Okay. I was like, why are these guys so much harder to kill than I'm used to? I didn't realize that this was like elite territory. And maybe it's time to have some buffing food. Let's see, have some... This will increase my health regen, and then I have cooked food, trail food. There's two different... You have two different kinds of food. This will increase my... my vitality, my health for 20 minutes. Alright. It seems like I didn't even... Oh, did I get the statue? Oh, well, I guess that was worth it. Those guys dropped one of the objectives. Alright, I found your damn statue. As long as he's like 5 feet away, I'll run back and give it to him. Because chances are he'll just be like, now go back in and get the other statue. It's like, okay.
What is this world coming to?
The masher, what does that do? Two-hander? Nah. Carver? Yeah, it's a dagger. Does a little bit more damage than what I'm using, but the other thing I think has got some other advantages. Doesn't make it worth it. Hunter's Band, agility. All right, so now it's just a question of which one's worth the most for sellback. 8? Oh no. 5, 1. All right, this masher, I'm gonna buy it just because it's gonna sell for a good price. Your husband had baked potatoes with bacon bits, cheese, sour cream, and green onions. Well, Evie, that does sound delicious, and you know normally I'm very jealous of your food. However, today was a very exciting day for me, because after 2 years, Taco Bell reintroduced the Mexican pizza to their menu. And I got enough for lunch and dinner, baby. I ordered the Mexican pizza for 2 meal to be delivered while I was working for lunch. So I had a Mexican pizza for lunch. And then before the stream, I had the other Mexican pizza for dinner. So, Mexican pizza is one of my favorite things. And I've been having a great day. Had a little heartburn after all that Mexican pizza, but still, it was worth it. Totally worth it. Yeah, literally today was like the official launch of the Mexican pizza back on the menu.
Stay.
Dude, hold on a second. Yeah, this guy's got 4 more quests now?
I do not ask much of you.
All right. See, this is why this is a little bit out of control. I'm not even going to read them anymore.
I'll not be ignored.
This is...
Will you let me speak my piece?
Dude, you just gave me 12 quests, bro. You don't need to speak your piece. That was a whole novel's worth of writing right now. And it was just fleshing out fetch quests. Oh, I guess I just took a bunch of quests elsewhere, too. So I probably could have just waited. Oh no, these guys are all elite. Now this is one thing that happens from time to time that I'm not super jazzed about. Is right now there's a significant delay in when I do my abilities. It's like a network lag in it, and I know it doesn't have anything to do with my actual internet connection. It's something between me and the server or their server. I think their servers are back east somewhere. So that might be a factor. But sometimes randomly all of a sudden, like my in-game, and I got a thing here saying my latency's fine, but something going on, maybe it's server side or whatever, something will go on, and most of the time it's fine, but I do almost every day for at least a little bit here and there, there'll be a little bit of these lag spikes, which has been, apparently some people don't get it at all. I'm fine most of the time, but it's happened enough to where I'm like, oh shit, this again? Like right now, it's pretty much normal again. But they're across the sea in the Great Havens. That could explain a great deal, Brad. All right. I'm not even entirely sure what I'm doing in here, aside from there's just a shit ton of objectives. Hey, buddy, go ahead. Throw that thing. Okay, there's a supply crate over there. That's probably... Here, fight! Fight! There you go. Good job, buddy. Alright, this is probably one of those objectives. Yeah, I think around the time this game was made, like, if you remember World of Warcraft, when it came out, one of the really big things that made World of Warcraft successful compared to earlier MMOs is they gave you enough quests to level you up for the most part. In original WoW, there were still a couple spots maybe where you had to do a little bit of grinding, but for the most part, there were enough quests that you always had some sort of an objective. And at this point, they consider a lot of that type of quest just like filler, like fetch quests. People don't think it's all that amazing anymore. But when World of Warcraft came around, that was actually a big deal. They didn't have to be brilliant, but the fact that you had anyone telling you any specific things at all to do that gave you experience and treasure was this huge deal. And it was MMOs for the most part. Like, I remember EverQuest, it was a misnomer because there were some quests, but they were like hard to find and rare. And you spent most of your time just grinding, period. So the fact that I'm bringing that up right now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because when I'm going to those dudes in the quest hub and they unload 15 quests on me in 90 seconds, there was a point at which that was considered like, holy shit, look, this is great design. Look how many quests I got. Look how many things they gave me to do. And then by and large, you can now sort of buy it. If anything's annoying you too much, you can bypass it. I think there's a whole other entire zone I could be leveling in instead of this and not do any of this content if I just wanted to change the pace. All right. Have I missed anything over here, though? Oh, there's shit down there, too. That's where those spiders I gotta fight are. How do I get down there without getting trapped? So this is like two quest regions layered one on top of the other right now. There's the goblins up here and then spider quests down below. You like quests like that, but WoW is just too much. Well, I think WoW has changed a lot. So at this point, WoW does really... Like, hey, go kill that guy. Congratulations, you're level 20. Time to go to the next zone. Oh, good job, you killed that guy. Now you're level 50. Go to the next zone, like the next expansion. Or I guess now they've changed it so you only do one expansion. But it's still very much like, it's like, hey, you're level 1. Oh, you killed that thing. All right, now you're max level. Welcome to endgame. All right, these guys are all about... Yeah, these guys are elites. I'm used to actually just mowing through things. I didn't realize this whole region was filled with elites. And elites that are higher level than I am. So I'd say all told, all things considered, I'm managing pretty well. Oh, we're getting into gloomy territory over here. Right, is there anything? That's a lot of high-level elites for me to pull all at once. Let's see, we'll use... I actually do have a bow. It's probably a good idea that I don't just run in there. One thing that's cool since the last time I really got into this class is the animations have become so much more lively for the Guardian. The Guardian was kind of like a stiff class before. Maybe I can make this guy drop his bomb. No, he still got me a little bit. I'm down to half my health. Still, all right. Let's have a little bit of that food there. Oh, I forgot to turn my ore tracker on. Yeah, now I can find ores if I wanna. All right, just gonna slip on in here. I feel like there should be some kind of objective for me in here. All I know is this whole region seems like it's just choking with quest objectives. Maybe it could be down below with the damn spiders. All right, buddy. Okie dokie. Nope, apparently. Now, one thing is that they've got the things called deeds. And deeds gets you titles. They're like achievements in World of Warcraft, basically. But they've got deeds for, let's see, every race, every class. In this case, Eriador, which is that first, all the Hobbiton and Rivendell and all that shit. Each zone has its own. Right now I'm in the Lone Lands. So I'm killing a bunch of goblins. You can see I have Goblin Slayer Advanced. That means that I've finished a deed, the basic goblin killing deeds. But I'm now 82 out of 120 of finishing this deed. So some people grind deeds. Usually I think, and what happens is you get it, like if I finish this deed, I get 10 Lotro points. That's only worth about a dime. But at a certain point, like people will sometimes go back into zones, grind out their deeds later, get all these extra special currencies and stuff, and rake in a bunch of Lotro points. And you can actually use the Lotro points to buy the expansions and buy anything's in the cash shop. You have to purchase, in order to buy stuff in the cash shop, you have to either purchase Lotro points or earn them in game. So anything in the cash shop you can get, granted slowly, by grinding deeds. All right, buddy. All right, I'm thinking maybe I need to go check out those spiders. I need to go down below. I just need to figure out... I don't want to fall down there until I know how to get back up again. I guess that's my... That's why I'm not in a super hurry to just slide down in there, because... How the hell do I get out of there again? Also, what's this over here? Have any? No, I got no quest objectives down there. I think I can get down to the spiders over here. Hey, Warg. I think I get the stuff I need from Wargs. There, see, that's a blue. That's like something that's like a level below me. It used to be that was about the optimal thing. You wanted to be fighting stuff that were white, which is equal, or maybe blue, which is a level below. But the way the game is currently balanced, if they're not elite, you're really fine going after orange. In fact, you know what? Here, gather around all of these spiders. Let's do some AoE, huh? Shall we? Alright, so that's still hurting a little bit, but, you know. Alright, here's, I think, some of the stuff that was on that. You do anything with this? No. Here, I think all the stuff I want is this way. Plenty of spiders to be found this way. But truth is, like, I kind of miss this in MMOs. It's one of the things that sometimes, like, I like about classic WoW that I miss about the old MMO formula is sometimes I do kind of just want to get in there and just be like, hey, I've got all these quests. All I need to do is I'm just going to spend the next hour running through this area, clicking anything that sparkles and killing anything that moves. And listening to podcasts. Burning corpses, you know. It's making somebody happy. Checking off those quest objectives. Oh, this one's elite. All right, came out of that all right. Oh, and I get to collect their eyes. That works. And then... yeah, probably end up going both ways before it's over. Wait, I just didn't run by something, did I? I don't think I did. Oh, I just realized I have my stream preview playing the whole time. I don't need to be wasting that bandwidth. Oh no, I'm poisoned. I've got a thing. Here. That shout makes me cure myself of poison. You just shout it away. If you ever get bit by like a rattlesnake or a black widow, just go, ha! If you do it right, you get that venom right out of your system. You just scare it right out. All right, you guys. Here. Oh, I guess they come together. Oh, got poisoned again. Oh, I had 2 layers of poison. Can I get the other one? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's some sort of elf thing. That's good. All right. It's time for a little more. That's the end of that. Now, you can be a cook, like a chef in this game. All the food that I have right now are just things I've gotten through quests. But food actually can be kind of helpful. You can also buy, like, basic food. It's a little bit like, I think World of Warcraft is that way, too. Other MMOs. You can get basic food and drink from vendors in World of Warcraft. This really looks like I should be able to knock it down, huh? It's like that's all white and this is gray. Why is it white? That's right, just, you know. It's this patented formula of shouting, clinically proven to eliminate poisons from the system. It's like detoxifying, you know, literally. And that's the kind of shout that I'm talking about, is that there are classes that's sort of like everything they do has like a shout like that every 3 seconds. That warden class, I think the only warden I played was a hobbit, because hobbits strangely can be wardens. And hearing hobbits shout every 5 seconds, that's even worse. Like, ha, ho, hey. Cut it out, dude. Here, let me get that poison away. There we go. Oh, what's up these steps? Nothing. Wait. It's exactly the sort of place where they... No, I think this has actually taken me to like a different area I don't need to go. What's that way? Yeah, not going over there. And well, if you got poison, dangerous poison in you, that's an existential crisis, you know. I mean, beyond just the what's the point of life? It's more of the like, hey, you better think about that shit later because you got poisoned. My wife left me for a hobbit. Yeah, that works. You could give me a few more and I could add the shout to it if we want to make a thing out of it. Yep. Gorthradothrim. That's for sure. Dude, those guys are really... They're far apart, but they're connected. Yeah, I almost kind of wish that I'd saved Weathertop to show for stream, because that was an example of more what a real sort of story-centric quest looks like. There's a little more scripted stuff going on. And really, the way the game is paced now is you spend a lot of time in those story quests that are moving the larger plot going forward. You don't spend nearly as much time doing what I'm doing now, which is just sort of like grind questing. You still do a little, but not like the olden days. Not quite as much. And this goes a lot faster than it did before. Netflix is likely going to include ads. Yep, that's what he has to say about that, Nick. Gorthragothdim. That's Elvish for... I can't fucking stand that shit. It's Elvish for, why do they have to take everything that I love and make it bad? All you do in MMOs is wander around, slaughter animals? They've gotten... I mean, this is one thing, too, like, you mentioned you should play Elder Scrolls Online. In theory, Elder Scrolls Online should be a game that I'd really like. I don't know why it just doesn't catch on. Maybe it's because it doesn't have... Like, I like the laziness of tab targeting, and ESO is more about... a little bit more like action combat. Oh, I think I'm done here. Alright, gonna get the hell out of here. Oh, to my behavior. Oh, I'm actually doing quests, Brad. I mean, it just so happens that they're so densely packed in this region that what it amounts to is me running around killing everything. And clicking everything. Oh, is there another way? No. Gonna have to run... I think I'm gonna have to run back through some goblins to get back to the quest givers, but yeah, that's alright. I took it to the bank, but it was closed. How was that, Nick? Yeah, I'm not gonna fight every single goblin I can here, since they're all elites. I'll kill the hell out of some goblins in the non-elite area to finish out my deed. Yeah, very dramatic. Come on. I'm hurting. I'm hurting. Got status effects. Got status effects. Alright, now it's time to chill out. There, I was bleeding. The shouting also closes your wounds, you know. I don't think people appreciate. Let's see. Yeah, I'm really burning through this food, aren't I? I might have to roll a cook. Alright, we'll be good. Yep, let's see if I can just slip on by this little dude. Get around this. Now, the thing that's nice about being a guardian is if you're trying to avoid people but you just can't, it's no big deal. As long as they don't catch you coming out of a bad fight, you're pretty much you pretty much don't have to worry. you're gonna be okay. If I were running through here with a hunter right now, and it was like, oh shit, I got some extra people that I didn't mean to get. That's when you're kind of like on the road to shit town, you know. All right, stay down. But yeah, that's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage for an elf to have taken. I even forget. I don't think there's like a rest button. Oh, good. Someone. This person's got it under control. Here, I'll give him a hand. There you go, buddy. All right, I'm going to turn in my 27 quests to you, Hugh Months, or whatever your name is. Hugh Months.
What is this?
All right.
world
If any of
coming
these are
to?
repeatable, you can fuck yourself, because I'm not doing them again.
What is this world coming to? What is this world coming to?
Oh, I have to select something. Let me see. Two-handed. Nope. Don't do that. There's a dagger that does less damage than what I've got. Armor that's not as good as what I got. Shoulder pads that aren't as good as what I got. And, alright, so which one worth the most? 277, 232, 214, 179, 512. 512 for the win. Alright. And I think I'm going to run back to the... No, I don't have anything at the Forsaken Inn. But I do have some stuff up here at the foot of Weathertop. I could be killing all these goblins for the deed if I wanted to. But I think one of the quests I'm about to do is going to take me into like some densely packed goblins. I think this is the road up here. Yep. There's good old Weathertop. I like the just general world design too. Like, it does feel like big and open, and Middle Earth just, I mean, it's not to scale, obviously. You can walk across, I could be in the Shire in 10 minutes just riding. But just being here, just the scale just feels big though, and that's one of the things I like about this game. It's big, it's big, wide open game. Middle Earth feels vast. Oh wait, I do have some. I guess I could turn. There's a vendor in here. I could sell stuff. One cool thing they do is instead of clogging up your inventory, they put all this stuff into like a stack that can hold sort of up to 50 things on hold that will gradually time out. So you can't just have, it's not like permanent storage, but it does make it so when you're out and about, your bags don't get absolutely clogged, so that you can sort of wait until it makes sense for you to go back to a town, and you don't have to go back because your bags are full. It's like, fuck, I gotta sell all my shit because I can't fit anything else on my bags. And it's kind of a nice touch. So I'm gonna see what, there you get off of there, how much shit happens when I release all the loot I've been collecting. That's not too bad. What do we got? Oh, some boots? My boots are better. Ooh. Nope, my boots are better. Woodworker. That's a crafting recipes. I'm not a woodworker. There's a club that does a little more damage than what I do. But clubs, it just barely does more damage. And swords are cooler than clubs. Oh, healing potions. I'm going to hold on to that stuff. You can designate stuff as to be in your inventory that's locked, so that when you go to a vendor, you can say sell all, and anything that you have locked just won't get sold. That's kind of a cool thing that they've got. Ooh. These shoulder guards are better than what I've got. Let's see, I think, what level am I? 23? Yeah. I'm getting real close to level 24. Let me put, I'm going to save these. I'll wear these. Got up here. This is the blue potions is for the power. It's like your mana. As a guardian, I do have it, but I never use enough of it to need potions. So I only sell the health potions. I will keep the sapphires because that's the sort of thing that can end up, surprise, being needed for elite recipes. Same with rubies. I'm not sure. I know randomly there's stuff that I think, oh, I don't need that. I'm not like a jeweler. And then I'll find like some of my best recipes are like, oh, I need a sapphire for that? Like, oh, okay. There's a weaponsmith. Now I'm a metalsmith. I don't actually... Weaponsmith, it's a different thing. Cracked dwarf. Expert scholar. Scholars is a like a crafting profession. And I'm gonna those. And then tasks. Let me see, is this? Tasks are repeatable quests. There's certain items that you can turn in for tasks. It's like all of these. And you can only get like maybe 5 or 6 a day. And you turn them in 10 at a time. But there's certain items I'll just hold on to so that when I log in each day. So let's see, what's the first one? Blackened skins. And this is for reputation, regional reputation. Or faction reputation. So blackened skins. There's blackened skins. I'll grab that. And broken wooden maces. Broken wooden maces. I'll grab. And there's a person inside the inn that you actually turn these quests into. Blackened furs. And they give you rep. Oh, there's some other repeatable quests that give you recipes too, but these are just flat out for rep. Blackened fur. Broken wooden spears. Oh, I think I already got that one. Broken wooden... Oh. Some things are actually for different hubs, so not everything is for this hub. So maybe... Let me see. Last one. Tough carapaces. Because I know I'm going to say it wrong anyways. I might as well go hog wild. Alright. Oh, there's a dude outside with a quest. I just walked right by him. Oh well. There's plenty of people in here with quests. Let me turn in all these tasks. Let's see. Oh, I got the bounty. This is a repeatable thing you get from goblins. It gives you little elite ingredients you need for elite things in different professions, and then you can choose. I don't know if there's anything I haven't learned from this guy for metalworker. But let's see. Oh, I'm actually learning something. That was a light forge crafted kite shield. All right. Next time I find a forge, I'm basically considering D&D a non-thing at this point. If miraculously Mr. Slaw is feeling better, and then I check in and no one has made any kind of plans, like by Saturday, then maybe we'll reassess. But as far as I'm concerned, we should consider it canceled. If randomly everyone's available and Mrs. G-Law suddenly is feeling awesome. Now the thing is, I have some concerns that by Saturday I'm gonna feel like shit too. So, but that's a maybe, maybe not sort of thing. That's like, I'm not necessarily counting on my not being well, but it's a very reasonable possibility based on our proximity.
It's a sorry day. Can't you leave me to my misery?
Months, that was the brother of the guy. He sent me up in the hills to talk to his brother. He's the guy that gave me all those quests up there.
I'm sorry.
This one's got a couple
Did you need
tasks.
something?
Ooh, I just leveled.
Oh, can't you leave me to my misery?
Yeah, these are like the people that want to be hermity, like away from society. So they all sound like Debbie Downers. I'm getting enough shit that I almost kind of want to go back to a major hub that's got a bank and stuff, but I think I could get away with not doing that. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a lot better than what I'm wearing. Let's see the visuals. Those shoulder pads. What are these gonna look like? You can see previews too. That's cool. I like that. I like that better. So let's put that over here. Anything else unlock? I was carrying around some stuff that I just wasn't high enough level to wear yet. Nope, this actually is something that I crafted myself that seemed really good at the time, but I have since found better boots. So I'm going to unlock those. Oh, nope. And what about this weapon? A halberd? A two-handed weapon? No, that's not my thing anymore. Not at this point. You know what I'm all about, Brad, right? Sword and board, baby. Sword and board. Will, vitality. Actually, I think I like that. Yeah. And now I'm just going to sell a whole bunch of shit. What's this? Oh, that's a letter. Current
I'm
quests.
sorry. Did you need something?
Do you have any other randos? Nope. This isn't a group quest. That mostly you don't have to do any group content. The main storyline has a bunch of instances that were originally required, and this they're called fellowships instead of groups, but same thing. There were a bunch of quests that required fellowships to progress in the main storyline, instance quests, but at a certain point they made it so every time one of those comes up in the main story, there are still instances that require groups, but as far as the main story is concerned, any instance that used to require a group now lets you choose. You can choose a fellowship version or a solo version, and there are two different quests that you can accept. You accept one or the other, which is kind of cool. So so it's still there's still that group content for people that want that, but also you can get through the story without forcing it. It's one of the things. Like, I really like Final Fantasy XIV, but it's one of the things that I don't always like is they do force you very frequently into group content. And I like playing MMOs by myself. I like MMOs because I like the way the big worlds of MMOs are. Not necessarily because I like grouping up all the time. And I like sort of the slow pace of MMOs. So people are like, why do you play an MMO if you don't like playing with other people? That's forever when someone would play an MMO and be like, oh, it's not solo friendly. It's like, well, wait. And I can understand that to a certain extent. Things were different, like in the days of EverQuest, where you literally had to group with people to do anything. You can't do group content. Like Final Fantasy is actually, when I engaged with it for the most part was pretty doable, except they did sort of railroad you into some really hard like raid instance things that you have to do them. And so at certain points I was like, what the fuck? Like, I have to do this for reals? And you're just in it with like 50 strangers. The thing is, it's nice about Final Fantasy, at least when I was playing it before, it was before it completely exploded. So maybe it could be different now. But it was, people were very cool. So they're very helpful. They'd help each other. Like, so people knew, like, oh no, when this thing happens, you have to stand behind this thing, and otherwise you'll die. And if you do screw up, my experience is that people are, you know, they're patient and they're cool about it. Like, even we've had wipes and stuff where they're just like, yeah, no worries, it happens. This is a tough one. All right, here's this dude. Oh, it's Constable Brom Ashleaf.
What can I do for you?
Oh, what does he got? Spear? Yeah, I don't do spears. A feathered hat. Well, I'm curious about that, even if I don't wear it. You can use anything as a cosmetic. Nah, that's not that good. Yeah, that's one cool thing is you have cosmetic outfits, and by default, you can have 2 different ones. And essentially, I have got it set up so it's basically my outfit, but you can so by default, it's whatever I'm wearing is cosmetic outfit number 1. But any individual item, like for example, I like this cloak, and the actual cloak that I'm wearing it's okay. This is what I would look like in the screen with no cosmetics. It's okay, but I kind of like this look. And also, to make my helmet invisible, you just decide, do I want to wear, you know, like, this doesn't. Maybe it's the build, the skinny neck and the big white head with the helmet. It just doesn't look right to me. So it's like, it's better to just, you know, just keep it like this. Keep it, you know, keep it styling. And then obviously, if you want to have 8 different cosmetic items, I'm curious. I'm not going to buy one, but I'm curious. It'll take me right to the shop so I can see how much does it cost. So Lotro points are roughly the equivalent to pennies. If you buy them in large numbers, you start seeing big discounts, so that you get a lot more points for your buck. But generally speaking, I would consider, like, if it's 495 Lotro points, you can say, yeah, that's like $4.95 basically. Not worth it for me, but if you had one character that was you're super into RPing and you're in a guild and they're all RPers and you guys have special guild events and you have different outfits for each ceremonies and bullshit or whatever, there are people that really get super into the RP aspect of this game, and maybe that's worth it for them. I'm fine. Like, just the fact that I have access to 2 free cosmetic outfits. I mean, you play World of Warcraft and they have what's transmogrification or whatever that shit is. And anytime you want to change something, you've got to run to like a major city and find the transmogrification vendor and pay for it. You know, this is like, nah. Lord of the Rings, like, nope. And there's a whole, like, you can dye stuff too, all sorts of different. One of the crafting types can craft dyes. I think the Scholar. So that's kind of a cool thing, is that ability to customize your character. And to be able to do so easily, more or less. All right, so let's go down the list, though. I don't want the feathered hat. And it's Fellowship out there. How you doing, Matus? I forget, Matus. Are you a Tolkien? Are you a Tolkien nerd? This hat's not as good. The ring is not as good as the rings I've got. All right, nothing's. So again, we're getting into the what's gonna sell? 234. Usually it's the weapons that sell good. 228, 215, 251. 251. The deputy's helmet. Does that look? This probably looks stupid as shit too. Yeah. Yeah, just not into helmet aesthetics. At least not for this guy. They don't look good on him. Maybe if I was a dwarf and I didn't have a skinny little neck and I put a big helmet on, it would look cool. When he puts it on, it just looks like a 5-year-old playing dress up. Doesn't look right. Oh, you're familiar with Lord of the Rings. You read the books a few times. So the fact you've read them a few times is, in my book, a fan. I think I've read all the way. I've only read all the way through them from beginning to end once. I've gotten all the way to Return of the King a couple times since then, including like in the last 10 years. And I very, very frequently, I have all the audiobooks of them, and I listen to them a ton. Like just over the past several years. I listen to them a lot when I'm trying to sleep. Because it's like the dude that reads the book sounds like he's a very grandfatherly. It's like this old English grandfather telling you bedtime stories. He's generally, except when he's singing the songs, that gets on my nerves a little bit, but what are you going to do? Here a pool of radiance, nerd. You demand Norris the Grey? All right. Ooh, hold on. Okay, yeah, that was the best one.
Would you do something for me?
What does he want me to do? Is this his deputy? He's headed to a camp near Minas Earth. Isn't that where I just was? Fuck. Yep. I'll go up there and talk to him. But I can't promise I'm going to like it. Let me see, what else have I got? Track nearby quests. Right, I'm going to go up there. But first, I need to sell. I decompressed all this shit and I didn't sell it. Got all these vendors in here.
What do you need?
Let's, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Basically, everything in these two should vanish when I hit this. Wait, what was this sword? Nope, wasn't going to do it. Okay. It's a two-hander. Alright, I think I lost some of those task items, but that's okay. And what was this? Oh, a steel loot box. Oh, I've accumulated a few of these. I've got these special keys to open loot boxes, but they're in the bank. Yeah, maybe it's worth traveling to Bree. I could take... That's like... I know how you love towns. Unless you guys actually just want to see Bree. You know what? Why the hell? You see me grind. I'll give you a little tour. You'll see the journey from Weathertop to Bree. And then maybe if you're really nice, Brad, I'll take you and show you all Tom Bombadil. He's merry and jolly and he sings. And when you get to his house, it's cheerful music. It's delightful. So now we're getting over to the right. Those are the Midgewater Marshes. That's where Sam asked, what do they eat when they can't get Hobbit? Write a song called You've Watched Me Grind.
Look! Talons of justice!
Oh my god. Fun with it. I'm trying to figure out if I unwittingly just said a racial slur. But, fun with it. I'm not... I've looked at old streams where their names come up like that, and I say them, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then 2 years later, for some reason, I watch it again, and I'll be like, oh. That's what it is. It was it was a racial slur that I hadn't heard of, but now I do. Now I know what it is. And they made me say it out loud. Thank you very much. But thanks, Fun with it. And Ka. Wait a minute, where am I? Alright, no, we're still good. It's been a long time since I've rode over here. Actually, there was a whole thing where one of the rangers near Bree that wanted me to go to the Lone Lands was just like, here, I got a horse for you if you want to go. So I never actually rode there. It was a horse ride that actually played out across the landscape, but I actually took that opportunity to, I think I went and refilled the ice, refilled the ice in the kitchen, got myself some water, went to the bathroom, came back. He was still on the horse. Yes. It's a charming little area. There's a bear that's gray. Wouldn't dare attack me. Copper. Don't really give a shit about copper anymore. Although, hold on. I still haven't maxed out my copper, my apprentice metal smith mastery. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take that copper. I like the little whistle that elves do when they're calling. It's like they're imitating a wild animal sound. Let's see. Now that I'm riding into town, I should wear my fancy horse. I got this. They have all these different annual different seasonal festivals. And I got this fancy horse by participating in, I think it was the spring festival. I've even got like a cloak and outfit that matches it if I want to get really flamboyant about it. But now that I'm not in the wilds anymore, you know, I want to strut my stuff while people know, hey, remember that spring festival? Yeah, I did that shit. I won the pie eating contest. Whatever. I can't remember even what I did. All the different festivals have all these different, like, games and things going on. They're actually pretty charming. I don't think anything's going on right now. Or if it is, they haven't been spamming it in my face enough that I've noticed. Alright, so here's Bree. Well, I think I was supposed to see the mayor about something. I'm hoping it's just a thank you, because I did some business for him before. Just a thank you. Not asking me to do a whole bunch of low-level bullshit, because I'll just say no. Hey, will you do this 12th level quest for me? It's like, no. No, sir. No, sir, I will not. The mayor of Bree, ladies and gentlemen, is right in here.
Greetings.
I thought the reports of the haunting were drunken ramblings. Imagining my surprise when approached by the Watchers of the South Gate, they told me it was you, Caldros, that quelled the spirit once wandered the alleys of Bree. It was actually a spirit in the Barrow Downs. Had me do a series of quests for him, and the end of the quest line was to bring something that I found to his brother, whose spirit was haunted Bree, and I was able to get to the brother's spirit, and I guess that's what he's talking about. Yeah, that's cool. For that I am in your debt, as is this town. Please accept this as payment for your deeds, which until now had gone unnoticed. All right, what is it? Breeze, thanks? All right, it's kind of like not as good as what I'm wearing, but thanks. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. I'll be selling that for a couple silver right away. Hold on a sec. Oh. I think someone's running an engine or something outside, but for a second I thought, whenever I hear something like that and I can't tell where it's coming from, I'm afraid it's... My first fear is that it's my computer. It's like, oh shit, something's going haywire in my computer. So far, my computer is... This is going to be 3 years this November. Computer's been holding up pretty well. All right. So, oh, the crafting hall actually is kind of cool. It's got everything. It's got a banker in here, too. It doesn't have an auction house. There's an auction house in Beret, but it's not here.
What do you need?
Let's see. I'm just gonna dump a bunch of this stuff in the main. Oh, I have a thing that they dump all sorts of gifts on you constantly. And special, like, daily packages you can open your daily... In fact, here it is right now. It's my daily, every day you get your free present. And I open it up and it's like... All right, there's a speed run boost. I kind of don't give it. I'm probably just going to end up throwing a bunch of this shit up because I never care enough about it to use it. It just ends up clogging my inventory. 50 virtue, though. That's good. It's one of the various progressions that you can level up are... Oh, yeah, I didn't even finish showing you guys all that. So this is your main class thing. And then they've got racial traits, which you get by... You unlock by, I think, doing racial deeds. And then there's virtue traits. And these are just generally things you fill up that give you special stats. And does the max, I think the max goes up as you level up. Because at a certain point, I did honor first. And I think 7 out of 7 was as far as I could go. So that I started moving to something else. And so right now, I'm earning charity. And if I finish it, then I get higher resistance rating, physical mitigation, and vitality. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Just another little way of progressing. That I'm gonna sell. Copper. Yeah, I'm just gonna do the copper right now. Smelting. So, yep, check it out. Look how epic. He's like the elven smiths of old, the ones that reforged Aragorn's sword. There we go. That's how I imagine. He's from that tradition of elven smiths. Racial deeds. Well, there's actually lots of argument happening in related to D&D that the whole thing of like races and racial differences in fantasy are, actually a problem. It's one of those things I'm bracing for. Having to adjust to that I just haven't thought about yet. But it could very well be that the way we regard races in fantasy games and literature, a lot of us are 5 years from now going to think that we had terrible actual racist underpinnings. And, so far, those are conversations that I have not sought out. Oh, barrel iron, too. Okay. I might be able to make some shit, too, at this point. I've been collecting all those metalsmith recipes. I'll have to see if there's anything that I can make that's super cool. That I can use, that I have the right, if they special ingredients or whatever. He who smelt it, dealt it. Oh! So this is one of those things where it's like, Lotro still has a lot of systems that just, it's like, all right, take a breath, slow down, relax, slow pace. Don't be hasty, Peregrine took. If you want to make 15 ingots, if you want to make, whatever it is, something in bulk, just settle back, have a cup of tea, and try to pick a spot that's interesting to look at. Find a cool angle to view your character. You're like, yeah, bitch. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to watch this for 20 minutes. Sweet, look how badass he looks. Just, look, hey, look, still badass. Like, okay, I'm just going to fudge it a little bit. Turn it around. Oh, there, that lighting is great. Although, was it more dramatic with the light to his... Oh, yeah, with the glow of the forge lighting his features. Mm-hmm. Kind of impractical to be actually holding the shield with the other hand, but we'll disregard that for the moment. All right. Heavy forged kite shield. Okay, that's the shield I'm already using. The Warden shield I don't care about. Light forged? Nope, what I'm wearing is better. Heavy iron kite shield. Iron buckler. I doubt any of these things are as good as what. No, that's really not good. Heavy armor level 20. There might be some stuff in here that's... Yeah, that's better than what I've got. But it requires sapphire shards, which I do not have. These all require... Yeah, all these require sapphire shards, so... Can't do it! I could probably buy some sapphire shards, but I just don't care that much. For the most part, adventuring, you don't need to be maxed out in your gear. So, yeah, I'll just collect things as I get them. And let's see. We'll open the vault.
What can I do for you?
Just go to the main vault, dump that, and let's dump some of this other crap in there too. Certain things you can add to recipes to try to get crits, to have critical successes. Oh yeah, and I was gonna get I have those keys for those lock boxes, right? I'm trying to... Did I have a quest that somebody wanted a lockbox? Nah, I don't think so. And I think I put them in the gift items. Because I got keys through just like random gift boxes. When you first create a character, you get one special gift box for every year that you've been playing. They give you an anniversary gift box. So at this point, if I make a new character, he spawns with just a shit ton of gift boxes. Like you have to get to a bank before you can even open them because there's so much crap in them. So they really like giving you free shit. Oh, Virtue XP. I should have just used that. Didn't I put those keys in here? Dyes, cosmetic, fireworks, furniture. Is it still in my main thing? All right, let's just look at all. Now I have to search. Key? There it is. Character-bound black steel keys. Well, I guess I can only open 2 of these. Traveler's steel bound. Okay, I'm going to open... Whoops, let's open this one. Proceeding with unlocking will consume your key. Continue? Yes. And this is one of those things where they just give you a little taste, and then they're like, hey, you want to unlock those other lockboxes? You can buy more keys from the Lotro store. Alright, so what we got? Yeah, we got some sabots and some boots that are better than what I'm wearing. Let me see. What do they look like? Oops. Oh, those are kind of goofy looking. All right. Well, I'm wearing something else already cosmetically, so maybe if all of my armor matched that, but those green stripes, no. What else we got? And Splendor. I don't even know what half of this crap is. Okay, let's open the next one. And then get keys now. Proceed with unlocking? Yes. Okay, what was that? There's a heavy armor leggings. They're way better than what I'm wearing. Oh, wait. Hold on, though. Yeah, they are. Okay. Put those on. How ridiculous do they look? I'll bet they match those ridiculous shoes I just hid. They just look like jeans. Were they heavy armor even? Yeah, they're heavy, but they just look like... They look like Levi's or some shit. Okay. Where's my... Here, let's go into... Time to use my shitty crafted armor, which looks better than the special armor I just picked up. Unless maybe I get a whole outfit of that armor. Maybe it'll all come together and somehow look okay, but those look like denim pants with poor stitching. I don't know how that was supposed to be appealing. Norris the Grey wishes he could look half as cool. In a world in which gods exist and make their own races, I'm less concerned about real world ethics. Yeah, it's a topic I've kind of tried to avoid, but then they'll be like, well, you know, Tolkien was like, when he made the orcs, they represented like the Eastern cultures or something like that. I don't think that's the exact thing, but they'll say stuff like that where you're like, oh, so you mean they're going out and just slaughtering a bunch of orcs because it's evil is actually like real life racist? Like, I never thought of it that way before. Well, yeah, but if you knew what Tolkien's intention was, you'd understand. Okay, this is a purely cosmetic cloak. Oh, whoops. Okay. Oh, that's kind of a cool cloak. Do I want to wear that? I kind of like my golden cloak, though. I feel like I've got a theme going. A golden theme. But let's see how it looks. That's kind of cool, though. Maybe I'll keep this on for a while. Here, you know what? Let's lock that. We'll keep that on our person. We can walk around with a little bit. Just try it out. And more of these damn random potions. Here, I'm just gonna put it in the gift items. Gift items. I don't know what this is. Gift items. Universal crafting lore. Gift items. Don't anticipate needing that. Okay, let's get up to the main chest. Here, what have I been making? Low stale. Yeah, I'm not crafting right now. Put all that stuff in here. Oh, the dragon fireworks. I gotta show you. You get all sorts of different fireworks, and some of them are really cool. It's almost too bad it's not night. All right. So let's unlock this. This'll look good with my fancy horse, too. Wonder, do I still have all the,
How can I be of service?
Let's look at my cosmetic things. The azure tunic and trousers. And do I have the Azure Festive Cloak? Yeah, I'll carry this stuff along just for fun. You know what I'll do is I'll make this be my... I'll have the spring stuff be my secondary outfit. Here, hide that shit. Have the where's this shit? Where'd it go? Oh, Azure tunic and trousers. Can I wear this? There we go. And the festive Azure cloak. Wait, I didn't actually put those on, did I? Oh, bullshit. No. Here. Now I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Here. No, that's right. All right, let's get this under control. Going to outfit 2. Isn't there a place to put outfits? Because this is the problem is I think this is like pants and a shirt. So it's oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Have the cloak. All right. There, that's good. Then I can put these things back in here. Did I actually put that cloak on? Yeah, I don't want to actually wear that cloak. Medic outfits. Outfit 1. Okay, that's fine. Outfit 2. There we go. Now I can just switch to this. And say... I guess I haven't messed around with this. Wear the following outfit. Outfit 2. Boom. There it is. And then switch it back. Outfit 1. All right, so this is my standard adventuring outfit right now. And then this is my riding my fancy spring horse outfit. Cover issues of the day with varying levels of vitriol depending on how much I've had to drink. Hey, look, it's getting dark. I can show you guys my dragon. I'm going to show you guys the dragon fireworks. It's the one from the beginning of Fellowship of the Rings. All right, back up. Oh, look at, see, that's cool. That is like literally just like from the movie. I could do that anytime I want. There's not really a reason to do it that often. Oh, wait, I should probably... Well, I got vendors. Still want to sell. Here, sell all and repair while I'm thinking of it, because that's a thing too. Yeah, all right. One more time. One more time. Since Evie was enthusiastic. I've got about, I don't know, like 6 different fireworks that I have in the bank. They just weren't as spectacular as this, but I could put on a whole fireworks show. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. All right, so now check out my guy. He is ready for spring, baby. Ready for spring. See, he's taken off. He's not wearing his rough road outfit and his plain road horse. Here's the inn of the Prancing Pony. Yeah. It's a merry old inn. The only thing that they're missing is Peter Jackson eating a carrot. Because, of course, the people that made this were not associated with the movies. Although now I'm trying to think, does Warner Brothers did or either does or at one point did own the company that owns this? And they may actually somehow own this. I don't know. But guess what, Brad? Just for you, guess who we're gonna go visit? Now that we're on this journey of discovery, wearing my fancy spring riding outfit, armed to the teeth with cosmetic brilliance. Hey, look, barrel iron. I'm still not above grabbing some iron. He looks slightly less badass wearing the spring outfit, but you know, it's all part of an ensemble. It goes together. All right, we're gonna be riding by a bunch of trash mobs. Bar guests are kind of like they're like baby wargs. So these are the Barrow Downs. Which I recently revisited these chapters in Lord of the Rings and Fellowship of the Ring, and that they were saying during the day when it was sunny before all the evil shit happened that the Barrow Downs felt kind of pleasant. The sun was out, the hills were green, then everything got dark and terrible. Here's entering into the old forest. Things get now the Barrow Downs are a lot more terrible than the old forest, but the old forest has definitely got its own screwed up, ugly vibe too. When you're questing in here, it can actually be pretty disorienting, and there actually are certain areas that change. Like the map will subtly change while you're not looking. All right, this is Tom Bombadil's house. You gonna fight me at Tom Bombadil's house? Come on, Gloomwing. That's what you get. You gotta stay away from Tom Bombadil. All right, ready? Ready? He's in here. Brace yourself for the cheerfulness. Ho now, good day, merry friends. I don't know if he does a little song, but he may only do it when he's got actual dialogue for you. You're welcome to stay and make merry. Look how cheerful it is. He's just in the middle of the night, but his windows, bright light coming through the windows behind him. And listen to that music. Come on, how can you be having a bad day with that music playing? Look at this place. Once you live here, I'd live here for sure. Tom Bombadil's house is the bomb. You can't go... I would like to see what's up here. I think this is where the bedrooms are, but you can't. Can't go. A little disappointed. It's the Tom Bombadil theme. This is his song for this... Well, for this game. This is the Tom Bombadil theme music. So, Brad, how do you feel about Tom Bombadil now? Has this changed everything? Yeah, probably doesn't have any signal here. He just does Bombadil vision. He's like, "Hi-ho, Dario, you don't need internet, I'll sing you a song. No time to be standing about, shadow, shadow disappear, Bombadil is saying. Come light and dance with me, and gloom be slaying." Alright, so that's Tom Bombadil. And, Tom Bombadil, who lives in an incredibly cheerful house in the middle of one of the most twisted, dangerous forests in Middle-earth. Not a care in the world. He wanders through these woods, nothing harms him. He wanders down and picks lilies for his he lives here with Goldberry, his wife, who he is obsessed with. There she is. She have anything to say? Nope. Goldberry the River Maiden. Both of them have been around since before any of the other races even existed. They were here before the elves, before the dwarves, before men. They've been in Middle-earth forever. Old Barrows Road. And that's one of the things that I like about... Oh, so I'll grab the silver. This stuff, even if you don't... I don't use silver, that's for jewel crafting. But I can mine it. And it's quite lucrative to sell in the auction house as well. There's one class of craft. Each kind of craft you are comes with 3 classes. It's a little weird. So like the one that I am is called an armorer. And it comes with prospector, metalsmith, and tailor. So technically I could make I think cloth armor. Maybe it could like make leather armor as well. But then you need a different profession that actually gathers and tans the hides and stuff. So armor is one of the only ones that's sort of self-sufficient, and tailoring I haven't even leveled. Yeah, I don't care enough about the iron to even stop. You know what? Screw it. All ye gather round. All ye gather round. How are you still standing, you little critter? Oh, they made me bleed. So here we are in Breland proper. I like Breland. Wide open fields, lots of flowers and trees. Curious ancient ruins. Delightful. The nighttime music in Breland. This feels very much like just set up a campfire and take a nap, you know? Feels very dreamy. Although I gotta say, the elf and all this fancy gear, just an elf in general, even without all the fancy clothes, it kind of sticks out in this setting. But, you know, I want everybody to know how fancy I am. All the bears and the people camping. Oh, one thing that there's like a bit of a pay trap that I almost was tempted to get. And I still, if I end up playing this a lot, I may end up pulling the trigger. But you know how I said to get the riding skill, you had to buy it in a Lotro store per character. There's a way to unlock the riding skill for the entire account for any potential characters you make in the future. And it's called, I think it's called Journeyman Riding. It unlocks the basic riding skill, and it then also unlocks the Journeyman Riding skill, which causes all of your mounts to move 68% more quickly. I think in the original free-to-play, Journeyman skill was something you could pick up at a level 50. Certain mounts required the Journeyman skill, and they went that much faster. But now it's one of those things. I think it's maybe you can still get it in game. I haven't like looked super hard, but I think you maybe have to buy it. And it costs $30. So there's like, it gets in your little things like that. If you're into the game, it gets in your head where you're like, well, gee, unlocks. And I think you get like a special mount, or you get, you know, all your characters get a special mount, something like that. I think, well, gee, all those unlock basic and journeyman for all the characters on your whole account? That's a pretty good deal. It's $29. And then I start thinking like, yeah, I ordered Taco Bell for lunch today, and after the fees, that cost more than $29. I put that in my stomach, and that was, well, I still have some left over, but still, it's 2 meals and it's gone. I could, for $5 less, I could have got apprentice and journeyman riding skills on all of my Lotro characters forever and ever. Everyone be riding around 68% faster. Forever and ever. You know, it's like, all of a sudden it starts sounding like, hey, that's worth it. You come into this thing going, look how much I can get for free. And then they'll dangle something like, you don't need... I feel like the basic mount, yeah. You do, it's worth 95 cents. In my mind. It's one of the few things that I really feel like, yeah, you need to buy. Okay, so this is Brandy Buck. This is Buckland. Mariotic Brandy Buck. This is where he comes from. He lives in it's a great hill, and it's just like hundreds of them live all in this one giant, it's basically one giant network of hobbit holes. Pretty cool. And then down below, Buckleberry Ferry. Follow me. I forget if you can actually ride the ferry. Hey, bruh. Can I ride the ferry? I forget if it's like a thing you can actually ride or not. It may be like in a special event you can actually ride the ferry. Hey, bruh. Well, suddenly I'm like, hey, maybe I should be unlocking the, It's a little bit like World of Warcraft where they have flight paths. Riding the ferry? No, it's Buckleberry Ferry, Nick. I guess I already have this. Oh, that's right. I have been through here with this character already. I did have some of the story quests took me here. Because, for those of you they skipped right over this in the movies. But in the books, Frodo sold Bag End. He came up with his whole cover story for why he was leaving the Shire. He sold Bag End, and he had bought a house in Crick Hollow, this is like a small corner neighborhood in Buckland, and it's sort of remote and private was the whole point. And he bought this house, and he'd been talking about it for months. And so his whole thing was he wasn't leaving like to go on a big adventure. He was leaving. His cover story was he was moving to this house. And this Fredegar Bolger is actually like his cousin or something that prepared the house for him and was waiting for them when they got here. And so that was the whole thing that happened in the books. He sold Bag End. He didn't come back after the Lord of the Rings was over and go back home. Although I can't remember if he got Bag End back somehow. But he sold it to the Sackville Bagginses. In the movies, they made this whole big deal about how, the Sackville Bagginses want my house, but Bilbo would never die, and they could never get it. He kept living and living and living, and it was pissing them off. And they thought they were going to inherit it. And then they named Frodo. Finally, he named Frodo as his heir. And the Sackville Bagginses were incensed. This is Brandywine Bridge, the official bridge between Breedland and the Shire. We're now in the Shire. Oh wait, did I miss the road? Oh no, this is the way to go. Those Sackville Bagginses. You've got the right of it, Brad. Those Sackville Bagginses. Nasty fellas. Little villages. What's something going on in here? It's a little inn. Nope, just having an evening of drinking and dancing. Yep. This is the first. Usually, over the years, I've started a lot of characters.
What do you need?
In whoops, no, I'm not gonna go for a ride. I just want to unlock the thing. I've started a lot of characters in the Shire, a lot of hobbits. But I've played the Shire so much that this time I was like, I just need to make a different character. I need to make a not hobbit. I need to have a guardian that doesn't look ridiculous. Like being a burglar, like a stealthy burglar, actually seems to fit. Certain things, even like being a minstrel, playing his little banjo or whatever, that kind of fits the Hobbit theme. But a dude pulling off like brutal looking attacks, the sword and board, Brad. Looks a little ridiculous when a Hobbit's doing it. Even though they say technically they classify Samwise Gamgee as what would have been the story inspiration for Guardians, for the Guardian theme. You don't see a lot of Sam wearing full heavy metal armor and just tanking like 6 things at a time like it's nothing. But I do like the Shire. I haven't been in the Shire for actually since can't remember the last time I streamed this on, but that was the last time I really. Well, I think when I first logged in this time around, I did log into my character. And I ran around for about 5 minutes, long enough to convince myself that I just didn't want to play. I wanted to play a Guardian, and I did not want to play a Hobbit Guardian. Oh no, this is a nice little run. So here's the, is it over here? No, it's down here. The Green Dragon Inn. That's Sam and Frodo's, some of their favorite. I think that's their favorite place to go go drink. I think that's where Rosie works. Where Rosie's the barmaid. If this happened in the real Hobbiton, like an elf rode into town like this, these guys would be all like brick into their pants. They never seen this shit before. They'd be talking about this for years. Hey, remember the time that elf came in? Oh, great, there's two of them now. Never mind, not a big deal anymore. They're born to be wild. They're supposed to be actually really fun and very good characters. In fact, I was thinking, like, that's exactly your type of character, Nick, or at least what your theme that you've been into in our D&D game you wanting to play is it's someone that turns into a bear. That's their whole shtick. Oh, there's some sort of party going on over here. Is this just the party that's always happening? Bag End is up there. Just curious if this is like a seasonal party or if this is just... Yep, look at the fireworks. Oh. Here, yeah, this is where it actually happened. Let me give my contribution. Yep, the dragon fireworks where it was actually set off. At the site of Bilbo's 111th birthday party. 111 years! As far as too short a time to live among such admirable hobbits. And of course, if we've come this far, you can't come within a stone's throw of Bag End and not visit Bag End. Although I'm fairly certain I've given tours of Bag End on stream before. Yep, true to lore. There's the Sackville Bagginses. They own the damn place now. Just settling in. So first off, this is Bag End's famous garden. This is the garden that Samwise Gamgee cultivated. And it's quite breathtaking. It's not some humble little thing with a few flowers. It's like a whole... Hey, look at all the little moths flying around. That's kind of cool. Moths flying around the lanterns. It's neat. I like it. Lots of little details like that. Alright. Not gonna talk to you. Just gonna go in your house. Like sons of bitches, people could be coming and going out of our house all day long. But, you know. So this is where The Hobbit took place, although the layout's slightly different than Peter Jackson's vision of Bag End. And the tunnel is supposed to go on, and they solve the problem of you not... I don't know why they close it off. They have it all cluttered up so you can't see the rest of it, but... To me, that doesn't make sense why I can't go down there. Uh-oh. Oh, am I timing out? I can't move now. Okay, there we go. Just a little network. Oopsie daisy. suddenly I couldn't move anymore. I guess, you know, Bag End is a popular place. There's probably thousands of people trying to visit this Bag End instance right now. It's just too much. Too much for the poor servers to pump out that much Bag End. All right. Now I am... Oh, I should have got all this stuff up. What did I keep this? Why did I keep this thing on me? I meant to put that back in the bank. Okay. Lock these up. This is for metalsmiths. That's one of their crit ingredients. I'm going to lock that up. The rest of this crap is going to be safe for sale. Should I take it to the bank, Nick? But yeah, really? Like, aside from that 95 cents I paid to unlock... Oh, there goes the fireworks show up there. The 95 cents I paid to unlock the writing skill... I haven't really felt the need to... Well, I was tempted by that universal unlock, but aside from that, I haven't... It's like, I've been enjoying this whole past week as a free-to-play character. Like, anybody could walk into this game right now and just play this and not spend anything. Although, you probably want to consider investing 95 cents if you want to ride a horse. Let's see. You guys got vendors around here? Yeah, they probably do, but I don't want. Can I sell some shit inside the inn? I know that there's a tavern keep, but I don't know if...
help you find
Oh yeah,
something?
he'll let me sell shit. And do some repairing. Wow, the tavern keep even prepares armor. What a nice guy. Alright, I'm going to do my fast travel back to the Forsaken Inn back in the Lone Lands. Where is that? Yeah, there we go. He's got a whip. Let's see, where was that again? He's conferring with his map, making travel arrangements, etc., so on and so forth. And then, you know, we'll just assume it's a week later, and here he is. He's arrived without incident. He's back. And is that weather top? I like the stars in this game too. The sky at night. It's a very clear, starry sky. I've always liked that about this. One thing that's cool, if you come up across little bodies of water, the water in this game I think looks really nice. It's very crystalline and reflective. And seeing like the stars reflected on a calm pond, like with calm waters, is kind of cool. See, there's some spooky. This inn's got an ass on it. You come down here, it starts looking a little bit, you know, worse for wear. But and there's some scary noises down here. I don't know what's going on down here. I don't know what those noises are. There's probably some quest somewhere to explain why it sounds like there's fucking barrel whites living in the walls or something. I don't know. Maybe it's better not to ask. Yep, we'll just stay up here where the people are, where the fires, by the fireplace, where they're playing music. With Glenn Harper, you know? Adwald. Much more cheerful up here. And, yeah, I think it's 11 o'clock. It's the shushing hour. Time to wrap up. Not only is the shushing hour, but now my wife is sick, too. Just think if she had to shush me while she's sick. I feel double terrible. In fact, let me make sure I haven't been shushed. Nope. No, I didn't get shushed. And think of how irritating it would be to know that I'm joking about her shushing right now, too. And she's sick, and I'm joking about her shushing. Just gonna flat out exit game. And, I'm gonna go over here. Yeah. Oh, forgot to turn the camera off here. Hey, I'm here. I just didn't want to set up my green screen today. So, let's get rid of that shit. You don't need to see this. This is tired G-Law. Tired G-Law didn't feel like setting up the cam and the green screen today. Just wanted to keep it low key. Keep it on the down low. So, yeah, maybe next week, if I'm still feeling good, I'll play the other game I almost considered tonight, V Rising. It's like it's Valheim. It's Valheim, except you're a vampire. It's supposed to be super good. I was considering playing it. I haven't even tried it yet. I was very close to streaming it tonight, but then I decided to stick to Lotro. So, who knows? Maybe next week. We'll see. God damn it. That thing is ridiculous. Hold on. Just well, I'm not here, so maybe I should. Here, we'll just have Norris the Gray. Since you don't have G-Law, I'll just put Norris where I normally am. There you go. He'll be a stand-in for me down here in the corner.
Norris the Grey would like to thank everybody for being here this evening.
He sounds like Admiral Akbar.
It's a trap.
Okay. It's Vrising. Is it Vrising? I don't think so. I think you're mistaken. I guess here does look like Vrising. But the actual title, as properly written or typed, does have a space between the V and everything else. Can I flip? Oh yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Hold on, let me see. Let me see, I've got to reset. It's not letting me flip him. I transform, filters. Is there a restore? Is Awaken to restore him? All right, here we go. There. Now he's looking appropriately. He could be my substitute co-host if I end up feeling under the weather. An artist representation of G-Law. Yeah, V Rising. The game itself, the title itself is nothing to write home about. So I don't know. But if it keeps on the trajectory that it's on right now, it's going to be a household name like Valheim was. You know how everyone loves talking about Valheim. Have to cut out the background to just the core Norris. Well, it does, though, look like it's his little frame. Like when I had a little, the frame for my cam frame, Norris has got his own cam frame. You could just say that. Oh, I have no music. A V2 rig of Norris the Grey commission. Just have like a full. It's a V-tube rig. Now that I'm thinking about it, I have no idea what that means. I was thinking about the streamers that used to pay people to set up like whole streaming themes for like have all their special logo and their donation notifiers and their subscriber count and sub goals and all that shit, and it'd be on some like special theme, whatever their background theme is, they'd have some special thing done. But except it would be Norris the Grey. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, D&D, probably just, by default, I would consider it off. And we will regroup. Once we've got a clear idea where things are. Trying to think, like, what would be just to figure out what would be the soonest. Because I know we're camping and stuff too. Just curious. Not the next weekend we're camping. The first time we might be, or we will be available after this weekend would be June 11th. So maybe we'll be able to have it by then. I can't imagine. Well, we'll see how we're doing. That feels to me like that would be a reasonable amount of time to get sick and get better, but you just never know with this shit going around right now. So we'll see how things go in the next week or two, and then start looking at dates for next sessions. Oh, right. I know what you're talking about now. Okay. Like, there's that one... I forget his name. There's the one dude that does, like, a wolf. And I'm pretty sure in the 6 years I've been on YouTube, the dude only ever used a wolf version of himself. Joss might have significant conflicts. I remember him saying something about something, but I can't remember what it was. Is he starting? I forget. I absolutely forget what it was, but that's ringing a bell. Okay, guys, I need to go to sleep. Oh goddamn, my work is getting overbearing too. Like, can't you just let you give me some duties to do? Just let me do them. Making me do presentations about my duties. Just let me do the duties, for God's sake. They have me I have to set up. We have like a division-wide meeting. It's not super huge. It's got like, I don't know, 120 people show up. And now I'm doing this QA thing, and tomorrow I've got I have to plan a presentation that we're going to do on Monday. I think I've talked my way out of having to do the presentation, like in front of everybody, but I think I have to like create the PowerPoint slides and figure out present something to my supervisor that he's then going to present. We do huge numbers. Well, I'll think about that. All right, guys. Good night, Evie, Brad. Good night. Joss, you still there? You're busy coming up. Oh, God, you're getting sent to Japan. Oh, holy crap. Okay. So, well, we'll see how things go. I know our summers tend to be busy anyways. But it would suck if we ended up like not being able to play till September or something. I don't know when you're coming back. But I guess we'll see. It could be a tricky next couple months. camping season, etc. You know. And Brad, Joss, Evie, Nick. I don't know if Matus is still here. Matus usually shows up at the last minute just for the lullaby. Fun Bun Bags or whoever was subscribed to forget. Sounded like a made-up name, but you know, it's fine. Good night, everybody. Here we go. You know the drill. Just relax. There you go. Go to sleep and good night. Your eyes are getting so heavy. Go to sleep now. EV23, Nick C, Jocelyn, Brad Pritchard, maybe Matus, go to sleep. I'll be waiting for you in your dreams. All right, thank you all for being here. Be well, everyone. See you soon.